All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to LaviCast. I'm your host Lavi Ray here with my good co-host Derpaduh. How you doing, Derpaduh?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Today we're here to discuss a not too well known but very notorious spinoff of the Pokemon franchise, Pokemon: The Electric Tale of Pikachu, written and drawn by let's say the very infamous Toshihiro. Toshihiro Ono. Want to make sure I got that name right. so, Derp and I have just read through this entire 4 volume manga series. I actually grew up with the series, but Derp ended up reading it over the past month or so, and here we decided to come together and to try to discuss for that today. So, Dirk, you want to share any initial thoughts that you had about your reading so far?
Well, to not get too deep into it, I found it to be interesting to say the least. Both as a Pokemon casual, like I think, yeah, you could call me a casual, right?
Just to give a little bit of context here. So, Derp, even though he did watch all of Pokemon Sun and Moon, which good on him, he's actually been a little bit more of a casual, just knowing some of the bare essentials when it comes to some of the Pokemon franchise. While myself, I basically grew up with this entire franchise. In fact, not only did I ended up getting the first volume of this as a kid, I actually remember getting like smaller booklets of this manga, either with either videos or other side, or either like other merchandise that was buying along with like other Pokeballs and stuff. So I guess I could call myself the Pokemon expert between the two of us.
Yeah, like besides Sun and Moon, the only connection I have with Pokemon is just spin-off games.
Mm-hmm. And Legends
Like,
Arceus, which is canon.
well, yeah, I guess. Like, yeah, no, like I have touched the mainline games, but the most I've ever really like thoroughly played through are the mystery dungeon games, and those are very different,
Oh yes.
very different. But Arceus was interesting. And technically, I never completed it, quote unquote. I didn't. I have still yet to beat Arceus, just because I know how grindy that lead up to it will be. But I will say what I played of it. It was pretty good. It was pretty all right.
All right, good. All right. As for myself, just a little more context. I grew up with the series, so I've played basically every mainstream Pokemon game, including some of the spinoffs like Pokemon Ranger. I've not gonna touch Mystery Dungeon, but I have gotten stuff like Pokemon Coliseum, uh, Pokemon, uh, what are the Pokemon Snap in particular. So yeah, I have more of a little bit more of a broad knowledge when it comes to this franchise. So let's go ahead and jump into the Electric Tail of Pikachu. So as you can, so like, actually, I think this is the best way to put it. So this series is meant to more or less be a bit of a different take on what the anime series was going for. So in contrast with like Pokemon Adventures, where it does take Red but tries to give him a little bit more of a give him a personality. To be honest, this is meant to start with Ash and his journey. But in contrast, in the anime, where he ended up starting out um, by just going to Professor Oak and trying to get a Pokemon from him, here we actually follow him from the start, where he ends up just kind of stumbling across this Pikachu, who is just kind of sneaking into his house like another rodent. And once he ends up capturing him and gets taunted by his own version of Gary, he decides to go, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and become a Pokemon trainer and become a Pokemon master just so I can one up him. And I'm going to start with this Pikachu and move on from there. So we actually end up seeing him going to take his test, getting his Pokemon license and starting out his journey. It still is just as, if not more rough for him than it was in the original anime. But I think this is but I do like the different take that they have on the anime in particular, especially when it comes to some of the technology here. When it comes to the anime series, besides the Pokeballs and Pokedex, the technology around the Pokeballs and Pokedexes, it's everything around the universe still is meant to be around 1990s technology. We still got bikes, maybe some video telephones, but they're all still meant to be equivalents of payphones, and everything is still meant to kind of let's be more or less like modern day during the 90s. In contrast with this, where we end up getting not only like hover bikes, hover bikes, but also on top of that, like the Pokedex is even more advanced than it was in the original, even to the point of having like a being able to project light for its screen. And I even like how they end up doing some of the different technology with the Pokeballs, in contrast with the original series, where it's like you just catch a Pokemon, Pokeball, bam, and unless you're using like different styles of Pokeballs, they all end up looking the same. Here, we end up having when trainers end up catching a Pokemon, it'll end up actually getting labeled with the Pokemon will actually have a number directly on the button for it that's supposed to correlate to the which Pokemon this trainer has ultimately caught and where they are on their team. And even when they end up releasing them, not only does the Pokeball end up kind of combining with with the Pokemon itself, the number actually ends up staying on. The number ends up staying on the Pokemon itself, so you actually can stick to which Pokemon has that particular designation.
It's a subtle thing, but yeah, I really dig that detail. I remember watching Sun and Moon, and like I keep kind of like asking myself, like, how do like trainers not get confused as to like what ball throws which Pokemon?
Uh-huh.
Like I know it's like it's a baby show for kids and 50-year-old adults, but like I'm just like, bro, if this was me, I would probably just throw the wrong Pokeball out and be like, oopsie. Can I fall back? I didn't mean to do that. So yeah, having them numbered is a nice detail. I
Mhm.
really, yeah, I really dig that. But just to go back on the earlier subject, uh yeah, no, the technology in like this continuity of the universe, like it is so cool. I don't know how to describe it, but it's got like that kind of like anime, like mecha neon Genesis Evangelion kind of like look to it,
Mhm.
where all of the like vehicles and things are just so stylized in such a fun, interesting way. It just makes the world feel a bit more like unique. Whereas in the games, from what I could see on like the outside lens, it kind of just seemed like normal world, but
It
with
did. It was.
mascot characters.
No, it was like, but if it wasn't for the Pokemon, especially during Gen 1, pretty much every location would just look like normal building. There's really not much like in terms of like landmarks or anything about the settings that makes it seem like this is supposed to be a fantasy world.
It just makes everything feel just a little bit more unique.
Mhm.
And that's not to say that there aren't like I'm pretty sure like yeah that like Misty's bike is in there, and I think it's just 1-to-1 with what a normal bike looked like. But
Yes.
then you've got like these giant like hover boat cruise ships and all these like technologically advanced like interesting sci-fi things, and it's like it's so cool. It's like wow, they just came up with that, and it's like that's so awesome.
Oh yeah, totally. Um, Now I will say this: for the most part, the first chapter ends up playing out. Even though we end up getting a different start with Ash, instead of him like going to Professor Oak Lake, we end up seeing him. Like I said, he ends up finding his Pikachu in his floorboards. Basically, ends up deciding to go for the trainer exam. Ends up going for it, and mostly and ends up getting his license and ends up moving forward with that. Afterwards, the chapter ends up going less the same direction that the anime does. He ends up trying to go out. Um, he ends up he ends up getting capped. He ends up getting gets into a bit of a mess with a bunch of Spearow, but in this case, it's also a Fearow involved. He ends up running into Misty, steals her bike, ends up trying to run away, but ends up getting caught in a storm as Spearow and Fearow end up attacking him. Um, Pikachu ends up respecting Ash for seeing how much he goes out of his way to save him, and ends up electrocuting all the Spearow and the Fearow. But the one difference in this case is that Ash ends up deciding to catching the Fearow, making it the first Pokemon he ends up having on his team. And Well, I do think, which I do think is one of those places where I do kind of respect some of the change that they do end up going for. Besides, like one of the most notorious, which we'll get to later. Oh, some of the more notorious changes, but we'll get to that later. Is the fact that they don't decide to have him follow beat for beat here when it comes to his Pokemon team, at least at the start. So we end up seeing him catch this Fearow, and it ends up being like one of his main Pokemon that we see throughout the entire series. Is there anything else that has to stand out to you about the first chapter?
Well, where Ash crushes on
Oh, right. You know what? No, let's go and talk about this. One of the things I don't think people talk about enough here is Ash actually has a sexuality. In the anime series, pretty much after Giselle, who's like episode, I think 7 or 8, like super early, Ash just refused. Like Ash basically never has any type of interest in any girl whatsoever. Like even with Misty, he's still kind of in denial about that, but pretty much. And pretty much after Misty, he's like oblivious to the idea of anyone being oblivious to the idea of sexuality.
Yeah,
Right
don't
here-
tell Serena fans. Don't tell Serena fans that. I can hear the comments already.
Oh God, I hope not. I've heard stories about Ash Serena fans. Jesus, but anyway, here, but you know what? Maybe she can have some fun with this version of this Ash, because this Ash actually can get horny for some reason. So that's another change about him in particular, is that we actually end up seeing him. One of the things that ends up being his motivator to become a Pokemon trainer is not only to throw a middle finger to Gary, but also so that he can impress Gary's sister, May. She's always been kind of a thing. She was definitely kind of a thing, even in the original games, but she was never like an actual character. But here they actually decided to like build on at least a teeny tiny bit. And pretty much in every volume from here on out, we end up seeing Ash kind of like crushing on her or thinking about her in some way. You can definitely tell he's at least somewhat interested in her. And let's say the artist is interested in her too, but I digress.
Yeah, and if he's not crushing on May, then it's someone cut from the same character archetype and like personality.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I wanna. Yeah, the mangaka has a type, and we'll probably go over that a few times.
Yeah, I think you know what. Let's deal with. Why is this in such a weird order? Anyway, let's go ahead. Sorry, I'm looking at the manga list here, and they're swapping back and forth between a couple of chapters, and I'm not entirely sure why. But anyway, let's deal with. Then we end up shifting over to chapter 2, which is a weird combination of episode 4 and 6 from the anime. Wait, 2, 3. Yeah, episode 4 and 6 from the anime, where we end up kind of blitzing through Ash's first battle with Brock, which I find fascinating here, as Ash is even in more of a disadvantage than he was in the anime. But hey, kudos on him for getting through.
He beats him in one panel.
Yes, granted.
One panel.
Granted, it's a really good panel. It's a really good one panel.
But I just find it funny because I know in the anime, I remember it because of I watched like 15 episodes of like Indigo. That's about it. But I remember Ash got his butt whooped. So
yes,
the difference is staggering.
Yeah, no, Brock in this one is like this starts out with like he's got like all the muscle man wrinkles, and he's just like, oh yes, if you want this bowler badge, you have to beat me. And Ash is getting all cocky with him. He's like, yeah, bring it on. And then it's just like this one giant. Actually, let me see if I can just pull it up real quick. YouTube, please don't copyright strike me for this. Boom. And just through a really quick spread between Pikachu and Fearow just beating him for reasons, Ash wins. Oh, and now that I have this up here, because I would love to try to discuss this, I really like the art. I really like the art style that they tried going forward with this. Like, you can definitely tell, especially when it comes to some of the Pokemon designs. It's not as noticeable here. We can try to talk about that more when we get to like as we get deeper in. But I kind of like the fact that they try going for when it comes to how they try stylizing some of the Pokemon, if the Pokemon has more of a quote unquote realistic design or a proper real counterpart in the real world to an animal, the artist does try to draw them a little bit closer to that. But when they're more fancy creatures, he usually tries to go a bit more stylized and have fun with them. And especially when it comes to some of the shading and style they end up doing for them, I think he really makes a lot of them pop out, especially when it comes to like Geodude and Onyx in this picture.
Yeah, like the Onyx, the Onyx. I don't know if it's like around this chapter or a later one, but like there's just one panel at one point that just makes it look absolutely terrifying in
Oh,
such a cool like way. There's like another case of that, which I guess I'll probably note later as we go. But yeah, as you said, when there is like a realistic counterpart,
mhm.
they change like the design a bit just to make it look a bit more closer. Like we'll talk about Meowth later, and like he looks very different.
Mhm.
Like his head is like normal sized. Like you got Squirtle, and that looks like like a slightly exaggerated turtle rather than like something more marketable. It's
Mhm.
strange, but I like it. Yeah, no, it's strange, but it's cool.
Mhm.
Cool. And we got Chunkachu here. I want to point that out because Chunkachu.
And he stays chunky the entire time.
Woo! I miss Chunkachu.
I think most people do. It's like, why is he all slender and sleek now? He needs to be chunky. It's like, but he's got to be a little bit more marketable. But yeah, no, he's super chunkier, which I do. There's some value to. But yeah, this is I'm kind of glad I brought this one up. We can go into this because I think this is the one where we probably should have a little bit more of a visual representation of what we're going to be talking about here because I keep bringing up multiple times here that this manga series is a little bit more notorious. And while I do think it's the reason why it's notorious is a bit overblown because it's like 1.5 volumes where it's actually relevant, but it's still worth discussing. So after this chapter in particular, well, not this chapter. After this page in particular, after Ash ends up beating Brock here and ends up getting super cocky, Misty, who actually is traveling with him, here, ends up trying to say like, "You're getting too cocky. You're being too. You need to learn how to value your Pokemon. Be a little bit more assertive with them, so they actually learn how to respect you better." And Ash is just like, no, I'm just chill. I'm just enjoying my team. So when we end up shifting over to Cerulean City, we end up shifting over to Cerulean City, and Ash decides to decides to get the badge from this gym. First off, once again, Ash is very interested in them for reasons I have no clue. I have no idea why though, but he seems to be very interested in them. Then once Misty ends up showing up, she's like, "No, I'm gonna take you on, Ash, because I need to show how you need to respect your Pokemon better." And she just,
You probably don't want to scroll down anymore.
yeah. You know what? Hold up. Let's see. Is this the? Yes, this is that one. One second. So this is where we end up getting to what is the most notorious part um this entire about the series. It's because
The
Toshihiro Ono,
mangaka's horny.
worse than that. So Toshihiro Ono is not just horny. He's a porn artist. He has actually drawn multiple doujinshis and just straight up hentai manga series. Especially the one that I've been told he's notorious for is called Anal Justice, which I think that tells you everything you need to know about him. And let's say, even though he decides to draw for Pokemon, let's just say that's not, he did not calm himself down that much when he was working on this. So, to put it another way, it's like, yes, she does have a very tight outfit, but you might be wondering, why is she just in this all black outfit? Yeah, that's because he had to draw over it, because the actual outfit is let's say I can't really show it on here without this video getting without putting this video at risk for a couple of things.
Also, you gotta say it's weird in of itself that there are even panels aiming on the body in
Yeah,
this way. Like you gotta remember, like regardless of like like what, if this was censored or not, the fact that the panels are there, like the direction is there, it's just it's strange in of itself with
yeah.
who this is marketed towards. Um, it's just they let him get away with this until they slapped him on the wrist later, I believe, right?
Yeah, they did. No. So they did. Yeah, no. So they did let him do this for like for basically 2 volumes, but I think at some point he got when even though he ended up drawing them for 2 volumes, someone at some point had to tell him, dude, you need to draw back over this and make this a little more make this more appropriate. And I think by the time volume 3 came around, he was just like, I am so fucking done. I don't like continue to have to redraw panels over and over again. So he just dropped all the direct horniness. So so throughout this entire battle, so Ash and Misty don't really have like a direct competitive battle, but more of an idea of
A game.
a game basically. So she ends up using using a Gyarados, uses a Gyarados, who I will go ahead and draw to, which I love this design. This is
So
great.
cool. It's so
Yes.
cool.
And the Gyarados is able to take his hat. So the whole idea is that she's taunting him to go, hey, use one of your Pokemon to take it back from me, and I'll give you the badge. And all those Pokemon are either asleep, running away, or don't want to do anything about it. And when he's almost willing to admit defeat, this is when his Metapod evolves, becomes a Butterfree, and ends up being the key for him being able to get his Pokemon back. I mean, to get his hat back. And then he wins, and his Butterfree accidentally puts him to sleep.
It's charming.
Yes, and on top of that, Toshihiro Ono, let's say he likes even though he introduces Ash having a crush on May, he does like the idea of constantly having characters, or does like the idea of constantly taunting or playing with Misty with the idea of like, maybe you have a thing for younger men. And this is really weird when they end up when, unlike in the anime where it's at least kind of implied they're supposed to be the same age, where they actively sit at the same age, here they explicitly go out of their way to establish that yes, even though she is drawn like this, she is given these proportions. She is explicitly said to be 12 years old, and I'm like, do we really need to do this plot point with a 12-year-old? And furthermore, do we need to draw a 12-year-old like this? Like, come on, guys.
When he says this, he means the uncensored.
I mean the censor version too.
Yeah, no. Again, what is up with this directing?
I don't know.
We gotta aim the camera here, guys. This is very important for our child audience.
Yeah, I don't know who this was drawn. I don't know who this was aimed towards. I respect the energy for. it, but
Japan.
Japan. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yep, just Japan.
Just Japan. Then
We got more. Ash loving.
Oh yeah, no. Here's May for everybody. Let's see. Can I get to her really quick from here? Okay, this is not in this chapter. That's fine. But anyway, so after this, we end up having Ash go on a couple of side adventures. One is when they decide to try to go into a little bit more about what it means to be a Pokemon trainer. It's not just about getting all 8 badges, but they also try to bring in a bit of a system of when you're catching certain Pokemon of certain rarities, that can also end up increasing your rank as a trainer. So after Ash hearing this and deciding to make a trade for one of the lower ranked Pokemon they ended up catching, he decides to go out to the Mount Moon range and try to catch a Mankey. So when he ends up going for it's not a Mankey. When he decides to go into the Mount Moon range and tries to find a Clefairy, when he does end up coming across one, this is when we end up he tries to chase it down And that's when he ends up coming across that Onyx that Derp was talking about earlier, which, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to bring it up because that was a cool shot.
Also, I can't believe that you completely missed out on the names that Ash gives his Pokemon.
Oh, yes. Well, there's a reason for that. Even though they give them nicknames, they never use them after that, which they should have because they were great nicknames.
I know. It is a shame.
Yeah.
It's not like they don't ever bring up nicknames later. Like I think there's like one character that straight up uses only nicknames, which is
Oh, yeah.
nice. I don't think they do that in the games, if I'm not mistaken.
Not that common. I think it's not that common. I think the only there are very few. I think the only trainers I've ever used like nicknames for the Pokemon were Lily when it came to her Vulpix, and I think the new girl. Don't quote me on that, but that was only because like they were giving nicknames to Pokemon that everyone's already familiar with. That everyone's already familiar with. So I think the company was more comfortable with those getting nicknames.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I don't think there would be an example unless the game was like, player, did you know you can name your Pokemon? They use like an enemy to like demonstrate that, but yeah. Besides, get off track.
Yeah, but yeah, no, we got Jean-Luc Picard, Jean-Luc Pikachu, Fearless the Fearow, Walter Pidgeotto, and Felix the Caterpie, or I guess by the end of this chapter, Felix the Butterfree.
So calling it. Also, yes, he does evolve twice, which is so funny. He goes from a Caterpie to a Butterfree in one single chapter. The bro's speed running. I know they're fast evolvers, but bro's speed running.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, it did also speed run that in the anime because it basically evolved in like 2 episodes.
Yeah, I remember that one. Then he says goodbye like 2 episodes later or so.
Well, 12, but point stands. Anyway, where were we? Wait, no, shit. But yeah, this is where I wanted to mention this chapter in particular because, like, not only one, because, like, yeah, I know this looks cool.
It's so cool. The art style in this is great. It is. I actually think that's just like flat out across the board. Like, yeah, no, the art is definitely like the strongest part. And that's not to say that you know there's not other great parts, but I think that is without a doubt like its best component is like the quality of the artwork. Like, oh my god, like how can you not look at this and think, oh, that's fire. They cooked. Oh.
Oh yeah, totally. So, oh, absolutely no. The art design for so many of the Pokemon here is amazing here, and especially when you end up getting like Chunka Clefairy, which doesn't have as much of a ring to it as Chunka Pikachu, but still Chunkachu, but still. I do like the fact that we do, even though we don't get introduced to Professor Oak giving out Pokemon right, left and right, we do still get him introduced here, where we end up seeing him well, being an actual researcher, actually going out into the field to try to see if he can learn more and actually get inundated into certain Pokemon's culture, especially when it comes to Clefairy here. So we end up getting to see him and later on Bill as they end up trying to learn more and actually experience the evolutionary process of the evolutionary ceremony of Clefairy, which I actually do find to be really interesting in and of itself, because they end up doing something similar in the anime series, but it just kind of felt not necessarily random, but didn't have as much of a cultural impact, because we actually do get to see them like take their time putting on all these cultural artifacts, to put it nicely, and seeing them like make a whole event about this as they end up trying to take a step forward into actually having several of the Clefairies evolve into Clefable and then moving forward. Also, but one of the things I definitely want to talk about here is just how much this entire manga series does end up showing how Pokemon was way more willing to be experimental at the time, because this here is Bill, and Bill has gotten so many fucking changes has had so many goddamn redesigns throughout the entire franchise. Because to put this in perspective, Bill actually, yeah, this really puts it into perspective right here. So this is what he ends up looking like for Fire and Leaf Green. Here he is in Let's Go. But then we also have like the weird cat mouth in the anime. And then on top of that, we have this design. This design in particular. Now, it's not as varied as I was that you might expect, but I still like the fact of like they do try to still have some fun when it comes to what he would look like, how he's supposed to work. And unlike the one in the games where he is shown to be like a more or less a recluse that just kind of just tinkers in his own lab, here he's also like, no, I do like trying to go out and actually try like do some do experimentation, do my own research alongside Professor Oak as an assistant as well, which I do like as well, but still also has to do with the Pokemon retrieval system as well. But he is not the biggest. He is not the character I think shows like the how experimental or how much Pokemon was willing to just like go in different directions with certain trainers. That honor I think belongs to the trainer that ends up being introduced in Chapter 4. But before we move on, you got any other things you want to add to this chapter, Derp?
I can't believe you just completely glazed over the fact that Oak shows up like like in a chapter 3.
Uh,
Dude takes his time getting in the manga.
yes.
Like I figured he'd be in the first one, and I'm like, oh wait, oh they're doing a different origin story, okay, but like
Yeah.
he's still gonna be here. It's like nope, this younger question mark looking Oak comes in, and he's like, yep, I'm here. Are you a boy or a girl? He takes his time getting here, and I'm like, what? Like, whoa, what are they doing? And bro just vanishes after this and doesn't show up until like the quarter last like chapter of like the manga. And it's like wow,
Yeah, no, yeah, no, it's like the second to last chapter of the entire series.
like
Which
I was surprised because he's like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like he's like one of those characters that just kind of shows up across the whole franchise, right? So I'm
yeah,
like, I'm surprised he wasn't like in more chapters. He takes his time arriving in the manga and then dips out of most of it. I'm like, huh.
oh yeah, no, well, no, that is fair. The thing is, I didn't want to bring that up too much because Pokemon Special, while I think still introduces them a little earlier, still also does take his time with introducing Professor Oak as well. Because there, he does not show up in Chapter 1 there either. There, he actually shows up either Chapter 2 or Chapter 3. But in that chapter, he's basically looking to beat Red's ass.
Intriguing.
Yes, but we could talk about that another day. But yeah, no, you're right. I do like but yeah, you're right. Like even though he is basically in every branch of the franchise to a certain extent, um I do like but yeah, no, I do like the fact that they did just introduce him chapter 1 here and like decided to like have Ash go through his own path but still end up coming across him at some point. But yeah, no, you got anything else to add?
No. It's a cute little chapter.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so chapter 4 ends up leading into, and we can just chill with this. So chapter 4 ends up leading into Ash deciding to go and challenge Sabrina for her gym badge, and this is where and Sabrina's the character I want to talk about here because Sabrina's kind of fascinating because, like, on one hand, because she's probably the character who's had like the most drastic changes between each version of herself. In the games, we end up seeing her mostly as like, well, if we go with like the not the first gen, but like a Leaf Green and onwards, she's supposed to be someone who's either kind of a psychic or at least has deluded herself into being a psychic. In the in the anime series, she's kind of this weird psychic who has split herself off, who has kind of lost her mind and ends up having the younger version of self getting transferred out into being into a doll who's just going around trying to taunt and toy with every last person around her to the point of being a supervillain. It was, I don't know what they were trying to cook with that. I respect what they were trying to cook, but I don't know what the fuck they were trying to cook. I don't know what the fuck they were trying to cook with this version of her character.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. And then in the Pokemon Adventure series, she's just a fucking Team Rocket admin.
Yeah, this is fan out, but yeah, no.
Yeah, no, I was hoping that something else would end up coming up, but
yeah, if you scroll too much down, you're gonna get some spicy stuff.
Yeah, no, let's just
Pokemon. I'm sorry, Pokemon.
So here she's just she's a Team Rocket admin, but in here where we decide in here crap. And you she's just a chill priestess.
Yeah, this honestly, like, yeah, this is just the creators type.
Yes, this is
I think there's like five different side characters that all just follow the same archetype, starting with
absolutely.
May, where they're all just like this pure soft maiden who's like
Yes.
pure of heart.
Pure of
And it's
heart,
like,
long, dark, long black hair, soft eyes, looking to kind of be maternal a little bit. And I'm like, you know what? Bro's got a type. And I respect him for it.
he's not subtle. Yeah, no,
No, he's
yeah,
not.
no. He's not subtle about it, but respect.
Yes.
Respect.
But again, don't think just because she looks like that she seems the most normal that we're not going to get anything crazy here. So Ash does end up trying to. Well, first off, after Brock ends up showing up and taunts a little bit about like, is she the only getting the badge the only reason that you're here? And I think we can go by that blush that it's let's say not the only reason he's staying here. Yeah. Oh, actually, no. I think this is a good chance to bring this up. So Misty and Brock aren't permanent traveling companions in comparison to the anime series. In Volume 2, they do end up showing up and are basically like with them the entire time. But after Volume 3, they kind of end up like splitting up and then coming back and splitting up over and over again. And even though they end up meeting up back in Chapter 2, Brock without Misty ends up showing back up here, and he ends up kind of more or less being an unofficial and more or less ends up becoming a travel companion with Ash after this for a while. But one of the things I do like here in comparison to the anime is that while in the anime they did kind of have a bit of a friendship here they try to make them way more like bros, especially when it comes to the fact they both are interested in girls, which I'm like, I kind of have to respect.
Yeah, I do like it.
Yeah.
It feels weird though, because like I don't know, Brock has always came off more like an adult character, even if he's stated as a youngling.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I do like it here because it feels like they have a little bit more chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't think they get to fully capitalize on it. Like you say, they keep kind of splitting like the cast up, and I don't think they get enough time to fully like flesh it out. And I think maybe they don't spend it wisely on certain things, like certain bath spring scene.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Which, you know what? I'm gonna say this right now: the best hot tub scene in all of anime. Well, at least it's up there. At least I respect it more.
Yeah, I think I know what part of it you're talking about at least.
But then after Ash gets into his battle and loses, decides to just stay around a little bit so he can try to like train up a little bit more and only train up. Clearly nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. But this is when you're finding out the priestess thing. Her priestess title is not just for show. So she ends up Sabrina here is actually a bit of a Ghostbuster. At the very least, she does end up looking to try to fight ghosts with her psychic Pokemon, and ultimately ends up getting her soul snatched by one at some point. So Ash and Brock have to work with another set of trainers to try to go after this giant haunter that ended up stealing her soul, so they can get her soul back and be able to basically stop this thing from constantly eating random people's souls all over the place. So they end up having to go to Lavender Town, set up this whole plan to try to catch and beat this thing. Which, spoilers, I know that they weren't trying to make Contour creepy when they first designed them, and to be fair, they did succeed at that because Haunter is just boy, and it's just like kind of creepy, cool energy, and especially in the anime, the haunter that Ash ends up bonding with is more of a jokester than just like, I want to eat your soul. But which I do think the design works for that. But here, I really do love the idea, like the idea of how like unnerving this, how creepy and unnerving this thing looks.
Yeah, no, I concur with that. Something I really like about this like early era Pokemon is just I think we'll probably go into this like a few more times, but like just how creative they got. It kind of reminds me of how this is what we're most familiar with. Sonic, how like the early part of the franchise had like the Wild West of like continuity with the like expanded media, the comics and
Mm-hmm.
the like. Like I though I haven't read the special. Like I love the unique powers and designs they gave some of the league's monsters.
Mm-hmm.
I can't name specifics, but I remember seeing them all have like some extension of their abilities that made them like, oh, they're not just Pokemon, but with different like names. Like, nah, these are like the league's Pokemons. Who's like they had quite literally like almost like mega evolutions, but
Mm-hmm.
before mega evolutions ever existed. Like that's like this, and it's so cool. I just love that they just took the haunt and I'm like, you know, we can cook more. Let's make it a raid boss, and they just have this entire like battle, and it's just so cool. I dig it. I love it. It just makes it feel so much more unique than like, oh, it's just a regular haunter that's causing a little bit of a spook. Like, no, this is a big bad boss that needs to be dealt with. Or this could cause problems, and it's like this is cool. They gave it like a unique design, and it just sticks with you. And it's got like this whole backstory, lore, and they just again they cooked, and it's so memorable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say it very early. I think this is probably like, if not the top one, this is definitely like top three like best chapters out of the whole manga because of how unique and awesome it is.
No. That's no. I totally agree with you about that. No, this is especially this shot.
Yeah, no, they cooked.
Okay, yeah. So after they end up battling him, pressure, getting a bunch of pressure on them, they were able to. They did what they could to try. Did what they could to try to ultimately beat it. Even tried capturing in this giant fuck off Pokemon. Where is it? Yes,
Which I'm pretty sure they built in one day, because
yes,
like they don't say anything about days passing or anything. I'm pretty sure they threw this together in a day. Also, this is Lavender Town apparently,
yes.
and it's so different. It's just like this strange desert question mark with this spire, like
Which is honestly closer to what it should be. Honestly, closer to what it should be. Like, granted, the anime didn't really show off Lavender Town that much. When they ended up coming to the Pokemon Tower, it was just a Pokemon Tower. We never really get to see like anything else around Lavender Town. And but when you end up thinking about it, where it is in the games, like not only is it meant to be like off the coast off the ocean, but there's like really nothing else around it. There's still a bit of a open field land before you end up getting to Saffron City. It's south of another mountain range. Honestly, I think this kind of makes sense for how it's supposed to look like. So honestly, kudos for trying to really make it seem like this desolate place that would just be a graveyard and only really known as a graveyard.
yeah, it's really inspired.
Okay, but yeah, no, they end up building and putting together this giant fuck off Pokeball, lure this thing out to try to capture it. But I think um yeah, no, I knew it did not stay in there. I didn't remember how, but yeah, no, this just broke out of the damn thing. This is just that fucking powerful. Oh, it used explosion from inside of it. Even fucked up the guys who were trying to capture it in it. Um,
And then you get to like the second like coolest part of it is like Ash tries to catch it,
mhm.
but literally like the haunter itself is like, nah, I ain't letting myself get captured by some twerp. I'ma kill myself. It's like, holy shit, that's so fucking dark. I love it.
Uh-huh.
Like that's crazy. That's crazy. That's so cool.
But
Like
thanks
just
to
just
it blowing
this.
up, all the souls end up getting released, and then Sabrina just directly teleports here, saves Ash from getting killed
Yeah,
in the
she
fall
yeah, she
leg.
teleports like all the way from like one city to like this area in like a singular second.
Hmm.
Like like what like she I don't know what she can do in this world, but she's definitely like holding back.
Yes.
Like I kind of want to see what she can do. I before we like move on from this chapter,
Yeah.
I also yeah, I like Sabrina conceptually. I know like I haven't really interacted with much to like see her in any kind of stories, but like I just love the idea that a character in this world could have like inhuman abilities. It's like so cool to see that, even if it's very little in
Yes.
action. Um, and she got psychic powers, and that's just cool to me. I kind of wish we got more of that in Pokemon media.
Oh yeah. No.
Uh, yeah,
Oh yeah. Same. And I do think they end up building on this a little bit in Pokemon Special. Granted, she's mostly a villain. She's mostly a villain and most of her major in her major appearances. But yeah, no, I do agree with you. I do like seeing getting a chance to see her. And honestly, if this was a little bit more of a if there was like an actual proper Team Rocket threat in here, or like they had to like come together and like have like a bunch of the gym leaders come together, I would love to see this version of Sabrina have like a work together with the group and or like take down stuff like that. Shit, this version seems great.
yeah.
Yeah. What else? Oh yeah, we end up getting a little bit of lore around a little bit more lore around the Haunter, and even Sabrina's getting a chance to cry while also getting an ass shot.
And Ash is jealous. He's like, "No, where's my hugs? I want mommy Milky also. Where's my mommy GF? Why does Brock get all the love?" You
Oh,
checking to see if they cut that?
oh wait, no, that wasn't the reason. Like this is both the censored and uncensored one. He's crying over the fact that he threw the hyperball and he didn't get the hyperball was the last bit of his money, and since Haunter blew itself up, he actually it destroyed the Pokeball, so that was like all of his money. The last bit of his money just got wasted on that.
I'm choosing to believe that is an excuse. I don't think this kid cares about money. I think he's more interested in chicks.
I think he's
It's like his most reoccurring like character trait is that he just loves women, except
yeah.
for Misty. He actually says straight up he doesn't like tomboys.
Oh yeah, he does do that.
But then as we progress,
Character development.
ooh, he gets taste.
Indeed. Then we end up shifting over to so that was all of volume one. So one of the things I like about volume one in particular is that this is probably the one that's like the least trying to be like the anime series. Like yes, they end up hitting certain relevant beats, like when it came to the gym battles, as well as going to Mount Moon and seeing like the Clefairy end up evolving into Clefable. They're ultimately trying to do their own thing when it comes to that take and do their own things when it comes to those takes, which I do like and respect. Volume two is where you can definitely see Game for either Game Freak or Nintendo. I don't know if the Pokemon Company is a thing yet, but you can definitely see like there's probably a little bit more pressure on Ono to try to start crafting things more into being on brand with the rest of the franchise. And but let's just say Ono is not going to go down without a fight. Is not going to go down without a fight. So we end up going to chapter. The one of the first chapters we end up going for is the Rapidash race, which while it does end up shifting some of the order of events around, it still basically is the same thing. We end up Ash and Co end up coming across owner of a pony ends up coming across the owner of a ponytail, but this time they meet her injured. They end up finding out it was because of this one douchebag who was trying to make sure he took out all of his competition early so he could win the race by any means necessary. Ash decides to jump into decides to race with the Ponyta instead. Ends up getting his ass kicked in the process, but ends up doing what he could to try to win, to go forward and win the race with that person, with Lara's Ponyta, basically also helping it evolve into a Rapidash in the process in order to win the race and keep Lara's name as proud as possible for raising this great Ponyta, and ends up throwing a little bit of a middle finger to the douchebag who ends up cheating in the first place, which I do like. But for the most part, this does end up it does have its own little fun bits. Like for example, Misty is like this is where we do end up having Misty jump back into the group, but now her sister's also along for the ride as well, and I'm not entirely sure why this didn't happen in the anime. Why this didn't happen in the anime series? It was odd, but this is actually, I think, the only time Brock has ever, one of the first times Brock met, Misty's sisters.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like I think there's an episode later in Indigo where they do end up meeting, but I don't remember if he actually like crushed on them major or anything.
Weird. I feel. Huh. I figured that would be something that would be touched upon. Huh.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, like the first time at like when Ash, Misty, and Brock are traveling as a trio and they end up going to Cerulean City in the anime series, Misty ends up separating because like she's just too embarrassed to go meet with the sisters. But Brock just kind of just separates off and just says, "Oh yeah, there's stuff I gotta do," and he just leaves the episode and then just comes back later. We never find out why he left. He just kind of just disappears.
Something jelly donuts, I imagine.
Probably. Let's go with that.
But
But yeah, this chapter for the most part is relatively fine, but we do end up getting a little bit more insight into like how Ash and Misty end up interacting with each other here, and you can definitely see them be a little bit more competitive and snarky towards one another.
it is a fun chapter. Also, I want to point out that Misty's outfit here is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think there's a better shot of it like somewhere above here, I think. But like she's got like this hoodie on, and like I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, no, she just looks cool here.
Mm-hmm.
She's not being sexualized, so I mean that's like one point. But yeah, no, she's got like this cool outfit on, which I think is super underrated,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope that I can find artwork of that later because it's a cool outfit. It's very sporty and cool, and I can't think of any other words. I like it.
Yeah.
It definitely, it actually, yeah, no, I feel like it fits her because she is a tomboy. And I think it just fits her a lot more,
Yes, it does.
like character wise. Yeah,
Then
it's a
the
good
outfit
fit.
we're going to see her in the next chapter.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is you can definitely start seeing a little bit more influence from Nintendo. Like for example, if you probably didn't catch on, Ash swapped his original cap out with the one he's known for in the anime here, which I'm kind of split on. On one hand, I do like the fact that he tried to give him his own hat so he comes off a little bit more distinct, where he comes off like, yes, this is a different Ash than the one that we've seen in the anime. We're trying to make sure that we're using a similar character, but this is meant to be its own thing. So that's one of the reasons I like that hat.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I'm like, I kind of like this hat a little bit better, but I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think it's the hugest thing, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think I prefer it being unique as its own visual character identity.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would have rather it be, its own hat, just to keep this distinct from the anime. It's really strange though because I don't think it's explicit, but like later in the manga, I swear there's a line in there somewhere that's kind of like watch the anime to get the other adventures of like character A and B. That's a spoiler because they haven't came up yet, but
yeah.
It's like this is canon to the anime, but also it's not, and it's like, well, you gotta pick one. You can't dance around it. So it's like I think I would prefer this being its own thing, but it also, again, as I just said, it kind of tiptoes around being like canon to the anime, but not really. So I don't know. I'm kind of mixed, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard,
Yeah, no,
it's a hard camp.
yeah, but I do agree with you. Like the hat is this is not like a deal breaker or anything. This is
It's a small little thing.
yeah, like blue arms.
Blue arms, green eyes,
Okay, but
long spike, short spike. Sonic fans.
mm, can't live with them.
Can't live without him.
I think you can live without them. Oh, actually,
Maybe.
no.
Yes, maybe.
One more thing about this. So I remember as a kid, like this didn't like piss me off, but I was a little annoyed when I saw this at first. Where it was like, Pikachu, you Speed Star, and I'm like, what the fuck is Speed Star? Do you mean Swift? Why are you calling it that? But I'm like, but I didn't find out till later. Like, no, that's what Swift is supposed to be named. Is originally named Speed Star in Japanese, but they changed it to Swift because they didn't have enough characters for it.
Oh, huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's neat.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, here we got like Ponyta looking like just like a straight up fucking horse, but you know, with the fire mane and a horn. Wins the race, gets to boot the cheater, and day is saved. And correct me if I'm wrong, isn't this Pikachu like a afraid of getting his picture taken? I swear I remember seeing that outside of this picture.
I don't know if that's true. I missed that detail.
Okay, don't quote me on that. I swear I remember seeing it. I swear I remember seeing that somewhere. But yeah, let's move on to chapter 6. So, while chapter 2 is kind of the one that ends up getting the series the reputation, chapter 5 is where it's like he just does not give a fuck. Where he's just like, nope, we are just going to go all in. So this is actually meant to be all in. So
This is the censored version.
yeah, this is the censored version. Just to because I cannot because while I do think there's a bit of a discussion around chapter 3, but I'm showing the suit from chapter 2. I'm not showing this one. This one, I'm like, I know I didn't begin. I know the video would end up getting struck down for that. But yeah, just to give people who are looking at the video right now some idea, her top was end up stopping right here, and yeah, these would not be shorts. These are in the original. They did not as short as these are. They were not this. They were actually shorter in the original.
It's like what was Dude thinking?
I don't
Like
know.
I think this was actually the point because I read through the uncensored verse because I'm like, okay, what the fuck were they cooking? Because I want to see this. I want to see the shit firsthand, and I'm like, how did they let men get away with it?
I
It's like,
don't know.
what is Japan made of? I'm just like, what were they thinking? It's so wild. It's so and they're not even consistent in the same chapter. Like if you read the uncensored version, there's actually a few panels where the short height is different. Like the artist himself just can't even pick one. Which is funny because I'm like, if you're gonna change it, maybe stick to the good length and not whatever. Oh god, yeah. Like honestly, I mean, I'm gonna be for real. I've never liked this design. It just feels so weird,
Mm-hmm.
like for Misty to even wear to me.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's her iconic look, but it doesn't scream tomboy to me.
No, it doesn't.
So yeah, no. Yeah, after the last chapter, and even like the earlier dress in like this chapter, I'm like, can we give her anything else? I kind of like it when she has like unique outfits, like yeah, I guess like One Piece where they just keeps rotating outfits. I
Yeah.
like it when they have a wardrobe.
Yeah, but they're like they want her to be consistent because like everyone, so they have like one iconic design. But I do agree with you. Like I don't like she's always had the title of being the tomboy mermaid, but they always gave her like the most girly outfits. So I'm just like, what's supposed to be tomboy about her?
Personality, I guess.
I guess it was like you think that'd reflect in her outfits too, but okay. Um, But yeah, this is the chapter where they decide to do the Evie brothers plot, but they decide to go about it in a different way. Instead of it just being, hey, the group comes across a rich family's place, having a dinner, celebrating a bunch of evolution, a bunch of stone evolutions. Here it's a fucking evolution cult, and I kind of all about forcing their trainers involved to evolve their Pokemon through.
Also,
Yeah,
I
this
think
was
this was
also a
also
censored outfit.
yeah, like yeah, in like the original, it's some bodysuit ass like fucking Timon fit. I'm like,
With
you look at this, and I'm like, like this is still like I don't know what this is supposed to be, but like it's at least a step up from whatever they drew in the other.
like
I
here it's
think
just
it.
meant to be a
I
dress, but
think
like in the
I
original, like she had it was a whole Neon Genesis Evangelion bodysuit with cups for each individual boob to sit in.
yeah, I think
And
they gave her a crotch line as well.
they did. And it has another cross line within it that is basically her vulva.
Like what were they thinking?
Oh no. And it doesn't
Like
help.
how did this get past
I don't
Japan like
I don't know. And it's even worse here because like you see how they have this little awkward shot right here where it's just focusing on our butt. Yeah. We get the whole butt crack line right here and focusing on the cheek with the Pokeball just right the fuck there. And it's like I
like
think
you
Ano was just trying to see how much shit he could get away with this chapter, which I respect him for, but I'm like, bruh.
yeah not Ano, but yeah no like yeah this
No,
was
it's
the
Ano.
this Ano. Oh, my bad. When I heard you say NGE, I'm like,
Not Ano. Oh no. Oh no.
I'm like, not the same guy, dude. But yeah, no,
Oh no.
I totally fucking forgot they have the same sounded last name
Yeah.
or first name, whatever. Japan,
Yeah.
flippy floppy. But yeah. But what were they cooking
I
here?
don't know.
What were they
It, but I
doing?
don't know.
Why did they cook here? No, don't do that. This is for 12-year-olds. This isn't a manga for adult audience.
Yeah. Also, this is another shot here where I think this is the shot we were talking about where it's like the shorts somehow even got shorter here.
Yeah, I just want to say if it isn't evident, I think you already said it, but yeah, I just want to say it again. Like this was definitely just the chapter where the mangaka was like, you know what? I'm gonna draw one handed for the rest of this volume. I can do it. It's like, dude, no, don't do that.
And here's the thing: I know some people might be going, "Okay, so he drew Misty and that one nurse in kind of provocative ways. It couldn't get that bad. We've just got started. He gets worse as the chapter goes. Because this is also like this is where the hot springs episode ends up coming in. But yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, they end up going to this. They end up going to the meeting for the cult. They're trying to pressure this one kid to evolve as Eevee. They don't want. They don't. He doesn't want to. This two shot to really say anything. Ash comes in. It's like, no, I'm gonna defend him. He's not gonna evolve if he doesn't want to. Brock tries to step into, but then ends up getting bullied down. And this is actually, I think, one of the first times we get like absolute like double battles mentioned in the franchise. I don't think they were a thing in the anime for a while, and definitely not a thing in the games. So good on them. Uh, then we got the Eevee brothers showing up, trying to bully him. Then when Misty tries to defend him, they think she's his girlfriend because okay. Also, I also love this little bit where it's like we're gonna do the shady disappearing thing, but then they just like scooting off in the middle, scooting off to the side. Oh, Derp.
Oh yeah, no, I've just not really got much to add.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was just kind of speechless for most of this chapter, not only because of the uncensored stuff where I'm just like, what were they doing? But like this entire plot, I was just like, what? How did we get to like cult plot? And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's like the Wild West. They just had no shits,
No shit.
and I'm
No
just
shit's given.
like it's conceptually interesting, but at the same time, I'm like, how did we get here? Like, what is their deal? Like, they gotta evolve, and I'm like, all right, that's a strange cult, but sure, I guess this is a cult for everyone. I was just like puzzled and kind of speechless for like most of my reading session. Like,
What are they trying to do here? Just straight. It's like, yeah, no, there's just the Wild West. Let's just have some fun. Let's go crazy with it. And then on top of that, it's like, hey, you know how Misty was actually trying to like protect him a little bit in the anime? What if we imply that she actually has a crush on him? And imply that and try to have her think that she does have a weakness for younger men. And I'm like, she's 12, guys, and he's 8. What are we doing here?
yeah, it's weird how they write these characters like they're like adults, but not really.
And then we end up getting to like the double battles. Ash is going through electrocuting and beating up everybody. But then they're like, bro, you can't just keep battling, taking out both of them. It's like you need the whole point of this is to show that Eevee can handle this battle on its own. It's like, damn it, they caught our strategy. It's like brilliant argument, Ash. Also, yes, Anna was also trying to. Yes, this was also a censored frame. Then they end up battling, realizing Eevee's kind of outclassed. And first off, I want to mention 2 things here. First off, I do like the fact that the Pokedex is not just brought up explicitly for like the exposition machine like it is in the anime. We actually end up using it not only as like a as Ash's official Pokemon trainer's license, but also you can use it to check on the stats conditions of other Pokemon, get more information about get more direct information about other things associated with being a trainer, and honestly, just how cool it looks. Seriously, I love the design for this thing, which I really value even more now since now in the official part of the franchise, they're moving away from redesigning a new Pokedex every year to just go, okay, yeah, the Rotom phone, that's your Pokedex. You just have now the Pokedex is just an app on your Rotom phone. Have fun, kids. I'm like, I like seeing the fun designs every season, but every generation, but okay, whatever. But the second thing is this bad boy, the technical machines. So even when I was first playing the games all the way back in Gen 1, I was always kind of confused about like how the TMs even worked. It's like, okay, it's a technical machine, but how do you use a machine to teach a Pokemon a new move? Is like a book, something. And they try answering this in Gen 3 where it's like, oh yeah, it's a CD. But I'm like, how the fuck do you use a CD on a living being? Like, where do you go with this?
Yeah, that was also in Mystery Dungeon, and that also always bugged me.
Yeah. So I kind of like how they end up doing it here, where it's just like this cube where you can kind of open it up and it just kind of like gives the Pokemon that new move, which I do like, which I do think is a really good touch. Then they end up beating the Pokemon together, celebrate, end up being the Jolteon, they celebrate, try to induct Ash into the cult. It was like, no, I like my hat as it is, and they saved. But I'd be wondering, okay, where's the hot spring scene? Yeah, this was cut entirely because there's no way to put this in where afterwards they're showing Misty just in the Misty in a hot spring together. Then she looks over to the waterfall and there's like a waterfall for the hot spring and goes, maybe if I put my breasts underneath here, they'll help me to have my breasts evolve. So we just get a really good shot of that, and then we end up seeing Ash, Brock, and Mikey looking at her while she's in the while she's bathing herself, and then she ends up running away, and Ash is like, she's a tomboy, she don't have anything to look at, but still kind of blushing. Mikey is just just blood just running down his nose, and Brock is just content, and I was like, what is this? What is this?
Japan.
That's a good way to put it. Anything else for chapter 6?
No, as I said before, I was just left utterly speechless for like most of this. Like, I don't even know like what my opinion on it is besides Japan.
Yes. Also, you could definitely tell they were trying to do what they could to censor this because just censor this even in other ways. Because like even in this shot where let's say Misty is posing in a particular way, let's say Ono was really trying to take advantage of this, but they were like, nope, we can't even show this like this here. So it's like, we're just gonna move the speech bubble and just cover her entire ass with it. Which I'm like, good work, guys, but yeah, I think we can show that one just to give a little bit of context. One sec. Yeah. Full wedgie and everything. Moving on. Chapter 7. This is where you can definitely tell. So here is where Ono tries to do a bit of speed running, where we end up combining like basically multiple stories into one chapter, which I still do respect. So we end up getting the Pokemon Academy episode, the Ditto episode, technically the unofficial Pokemon Gym episode, Samurai episode, and characters from all those episodes. But then ends up being a weird combination of both the Pokemon Island episode and the Kangaskhan Kid episode. So, Derp, you were talking about this being like being the Tarzan episode, being like a Tarzan episode earlier.
The Coco movie.
Yes. Yeah. So that was actually not the first time they ended up doing that. So just to give some context, one of Pokemon's most recent movies was where Ash ends up coming across this kid who's raised in the jungle by a legendary Pokemon, and because
those like the ape Pokemon.
Yeah, it's legendary. Well, actually, no, it's a mythical Pokemon.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, but there's like a bunch of them.
Hold up.
There's just a bunch of them. I forget their name. But there was a bunch of them.
Yeah, this thing.
This is a legendary?
Mythical, yes.
Huh?
Yep.
Huh?
Yes.
Huh? There's a bunch of them.
Yep.
I thought there was only one legendary though.
No.
Oh, that's weird.
Very.
I don't. No, it's so weird. That was a fuck ass normal Pokemon with just a unique ability. What the fuck?
Yeah. No.
Such a weird. No.
We got a little side conversation about this because this is also a little Pokemon because there are multiple things about the Pokemon franchise that I do love, but this is one of those I hate, where it's the mythical and legendary Pokemon distinction. Now, you might be wondering, is there a distinction between a legendary and mythical Pokemon? In universe, not really. Like, the only thing that makes a mythical Pokemon different from a legendary Pokemon is, for the most part, you are not allowed to get a Pokemon. For the most part, mythical Pokemon aren't able to be captured normally within the game. That's pretty much it. Like, pretty much every Pokemon here, except Keldeo, and honestly and he barely qualified, and that's a weird conversation in of itself. You can't really catch any of these Pokemon properly in the games that are meant to be there, where they were first introduced for the generation.
Yeah, don't you have to mod them now or something?
No, the Pokemon Company basically does like giveaways for them all the fucking time. Like, especially during like a couple years ago during Sword and Shield, they were basically saying like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have like once a month. You can basically just like put in a code and you can automatically download those Pokemon to your team, download Pokemon to your save file."
Oh, well, I just meant in the game they came from. I remember watching like a review of, I don't know which game it was, but like you have to be So like you have to be in spring or something and go down this path, and then you find like a hedgehog
Oh,
Pokemon or
oh yeah,
something.
no, that's Shaman. No, that
But
one. Okay, so Derp is technically right. You do technically have to hack that. It's weird. So in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, you were supposed to be able to get this the only way you can get this Pokemon in the game itself is by getting, I believe. Oh yeah, here it is. By getting an Oak letter, and this allows the player to access a Sea Break path to capture a Shaman. The problem is they didn't really do. There wasn't like a widespread there wasn't like a super widespread distribution of the Oaks letter. So if you didn't get it, the only way you could really get it, especially nowadays, is if you hack it. But if you wanted to try to get like but if you wanted to get a shaman now, the best way to do it would be like using your save files from Billion Diamond and Shining Pearl um, on your Switch to so you can catch it in Legend, so you can activate an event in Legends Arceus, or you can just wait around for whenever Pokemon does another event, so you can just download it that way.
huh.
It's really weird, but as I was saying, when it comes to the distinction between a legendary and mythical Pokemon, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the only real distinction. But but I also do not blame Derp at all for being concerned about like why is this Pokemon of legendary and mythical Pokemon if it's just all over the place? That's a very all over the place in this movie. That's a very good question. The short answer is there's not a good one. There's not a good answer because even when it comes to legendary Pokemon, you see there are multiple of them all over the fucking place. Like when it came to can I get to them from here?
Were there multiple Groudons?
As far as I can tell, yes.
What? That's so stupid. I know we're
Very
on like a tangent now, but like this is fun. This is
yeah, no,
like why? It's so dumb. Like
I
I love
don't
the
know.
concept that they're all these. I love the concept that they're all these just godlike entities. But you telling me there's just like 3 possible Rayquazas going around? Or they
Potentially. Like I know there are multiple legendary beasts. They show multiple of them throughout. Even if we discount like the raid den in Sword and Shield, which is its own weird thing, and just consider them the events and stories. We've already gotten several examples of like there being multiple Suicunes, Raidus, and Entei in the anime. Hell, even in when it comes to we've not only have we had like several Lugias introduced in the anime series properly, one of the early episodes during the Johto region established that not only is there another Lugia separate from the one in the Orange Islands, that Lugia had a baby.
huh?
Yes. And yeah, they're like when it comes to the Reggies, like there's supposed to be ones in Hoenn, but also there's also the ones in the Tree of Life in the Lucaria movie, as well as also being on Brandon's team as well. There are multiple Latios and Latiases. There are definitely meant to be several Heatrans. And that's also just kind of like the frustrating part is like we see several times that there are like multiple versions of these Pokemon that just kind of makes you go like, wait, if there are multiple versions, how are they like legendary in the first place? So it's what makes them like really weird.
There's also shinies.
Yes.
So that would imply that whatever exists already could be like doubled.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's like oh, it's so dumb.
Yeah, like for example, not only have we seen like multiple of the legendary beasts, we've also had a movie that was about the shiny versions of those legendary beasts.
There was a movie about the shiny ones.
Yes.
Huh? What? What?
Yes.
You don't get it. We got to merchandise all the Pokemon, including the recolors.
Okay. Um Yep. See? Why they decided to make them a part of this movie, I have no fucking clue. Unova and Johto have literally nothing to do with each other, so I don't know why they decided to like throw these guys in here for some reason other than just we wanted to market them. Uh,
Unova's America, ain't it? Or is that France?
No, Unova is technically it's really more New York, but yeah. Yeah, no. So
Yeah,
like
why are these Japanese dog lion things here?
to be fair, they are in that movie is supposed to be in Sinnoh, but my point still kind of stands. And not to mention, this movie is kind of meant to be a bit of a early marketing ploy for Nova. So I'm even more confused about why we're doing that here. Whatever. But anyway, back on. Sorry, little legendary Pokemon tangent because like I've seen so many people have that discussion. I agree with pretty much all of them. Like Pokemon's really weird about that conversation. But anyway, so we end up combining. So basically, Ash is Pikachu ends up getting separated from Ash, and now they're trying to figure out a way to get back together, find a way to find each other again. Pikachu ends up coming across another Squirtle, a Shiloh Charmander. They end up deciding to try to find the Pokemon Village. Ash is like breaking down and crying, terrified and feeling sad that he lost his Pikachu. Ends up coming across Mikey, the kid who can speak Pokemon, which that is a whole other episode in the anime series, which deserves a very fair conversation for how weird it is.
Well, could you tell me?
Huh?
Because I haven't gotten that far.
Oh, basically, his parents were flying over the safari zone, and the father was like, "Oh, Mikey, look at all the cute Pokemon. You want to get a closer look?" So while they're high up in the helicopter, the dad ends up dangling the kid out of the window of the helicopter, saying, "Ooh, look at the pretty Pokemon," and then he just drops them.
What?
And then, fortunately, the kid knows how to use a parachute, so he ends up pulling the parachute.
Very
But
smart
yeah,
child.
and then when they end up trying to go pick up the boy again, he's already been separated from the parachute, and they don't find him for like 3 years until they see him being raised by a Kangaskhan.
Wild.
So as someone who has watched all of Sun and Moon, could you see them doing anything that crazy there?
Like, I think the craziest Sun and Moon got, like, conceptually was when they just did, like, a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids episode, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Which I think every, like, I mean, not every, I think that might be a dying trend now, but, like, I think that's, like, one of those tropes, like, in cartoons. Like, you have the episode where they explore somebody's body inside. You have the
Yes.
episode where they shrink. You have, like, you have, like, those episodes.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if that's that crazy or not. But yeah, no, conceptually, like, that was, I think, like, the craziest Sun and Moon episode, which not saying a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sun and Moon. Don't want to go on that tangent.
But yeah, after they end up trying to hydrate Ash, they end up getting to and we get our first introduction to Team Rocket.
And Ash does not meet them in this chapter.
No.
It's just the Pokemon, which is interesting.
What's the next chapter? Did they meet?
Also, I just want to say before I forget about it, Giselle appears in the chapter we just skipped, and in an early one as well. She exists in this continuity.
Yes.
Ash doesn't like her, apparently, also.
No, understandable. She's kind. Actually, no. She doesn't meet her. She doesn't meet him in the. They don't meet him.
Well, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't talk to a direct level. He like overhears her, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't like her." He's not interested. compared in the anime where he's like, "Yo, who's her? I want her number."
And then then she ends up being disrespectful. He's just like,
Like, never
I will
mind.
never be interested in another woman again.
I think I don't want to fall in love ever again until I meet a girl called Serena again.
No, he doesn't mean it. He doesn't fall in love with her either.
No, let's not say that.
She doesn't, guys. You can headcanon all you want that they fall in love as adults. Have fun with that, but they don't accept it.
Say any more, and you'll hurt the two Lana shippers.
Wait, there are people. Oh God, I feel so sorry for people. I don't want to hurt them. Like
Yeah,
they
Ash has more chemistry with Volcano boy.
he does actually.
Honestly, actually, might be like one of the stronger ships.
It is. Also, I just want to show.
Uh,
I want to show this little bit here because again, he's calming down, but he's not gone. You parent type Pokemon? Give me milk. How drink?
Meowth looks so good in this.
Yes.
Like, oh, I mean, they all do. To be fair, Bulbasaur.
Whereas, oh no, Bulbasaur doesn't show up until later.
I mean, Squirtle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is Squirtle. It's fucking. I know my Pokemon. Damn it. I know my Pokemon.
Yeah, you do.
I can't name them all, but I know my starters, most of them anyway.
Yeah, guys. He totally knows what a Fennekin is.
Damn you. Also, Breakson is the best. I'm a proud diet furry.
Okay. Whatever. Okay. They end up traveling. Fine. Oh wait, yeah, no. They also combine the Pokemonville. Yeah, no. This is just trying to like, how many episodes can I combine?
Yeah, I do remember this one. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
remember this one from the anime. Like, I don't know if they like drop them off or something, but I do know that. Yeah, like Ash and Co meet her. I believe. Yeah.
They meet her in the anime. They don't meet her here. They just
Yeah.
Ashiko just kind of come here, help. No, Ashiko. Pikachu ends up coming here, helping all of them get here. Then once everyone gets settled, Pikachu tries to get back to Ash, which he does, and they have a sweet reveal. They have a sweet little hug with each other, and day is saved. Also, Misty's not wearing the skippiest thing to ever exist, which is also good.
Yay! Woo. Improvement.
So and then anything else about chapter 7?
It's a nice little funny chapter about the Pokemon separated and Ash coping with the loss, and it's entertaining. I usually like those episodes just because it's fun to see them separated and get like some hijinks out of that. I think there might have been an episode like that in Sun and Moon, but I don't.
Yeah, there is. That's when all three of the starters get separated together.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. No. Like episodes like those are always fun to me. Just to see how they interact, and they usually have. Do they usually voice act with the
No,
Pokemon?
they never have them speak English. They usually just like they never have them speaking like.
Yeah, I was just asking because again, like I just kind of watched the Pokemon movie with Coco, and they have the legendary just talk.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is to the.
No, that's the movies. The movies are a different thing. They get. I don't want to say they necessarily get lazy, but pretty much every movie after, well, pretty much almost every movie, but especially after 5, every Pokemon that's meant to be like the focus of that movie is able to talk. So like we got in 6, Jirachi was able to talk. 7, wait, no, 7 they didn't talk, but 8 Lucario did for reasons. 9,
Lucario,
and if he was able to talk, etc., etc. Huh?
I don't know. Lucario should be able to talk. He's cool.
Oh yeah.
He's cool. I like Lucario. He's just the shadow of the franchise.
Yes. Well, that Lucario.
Until they replace him with furry shadow.
Oh no, they're never going to. They're never going.
No, Zoroark, that piece of shit.
No. They tried. They wanted to have Zoroark be the thing, but Lucario has basically been a mainstay in the franchise since it was introduced. Like Albert was making a joke about this earlier, but Lucario is basically is basically the third or fourth mascot for the franchise.
Zoroark sucks. Get him out of here. Lucario's best shadow boy.
What's wrong with Zoroark?
Oh, he's like overkill. I don't know. I look at that thing and I'm like, that's so cringe. Like you're trying too hard. Like I don't think it looks good. I think it's like way too over the top. It's like trying way too hard to be like, look, guys, we made another furry, edgy character. You love it, right? And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? Put this back in. Put this back in the hard drive. Don't release that. That sucks. Just give us another clone of Lucario, because that would have been way better than whatever this thing is. Oh God! Don't even show the whiteness.
Oh, I thought you liked this one.
Who? No. When I saw this, I'm like, who okayed this? This. Okay, the other one gets like the smidgiest. Like, I don't like it, but at least it doesn't look like totally awful. I hate this thing though. I think it looks like shit. I'm just gonna say it. The fucking snowy ass ice cream piece of shit. What is this?
Normal ghost type.
Yeah, it looks like. I don't like it. Looks like crap. I think I caught this and then just like put it in the back thing, whatever you stored
The
it
farm.
things in. I don't think I got any kills with that.
All right,
Yeah, no,
all right,
I do not like this goofy ass design.
We can talk about the furry bait another day. So I know.
I'm not against furry bait. I'm the guy that just openly said I like Braixen. I love Braixen. But yeah, no, like what the fuck is that thing? I think it looks like shit. Fight me.
we can discuss that another day. I want to try to see if we can get through this really quick. So
Gonna be a hard job.
So this one is basically and practically beat for beat for an episode in the original series where Ash and Co end up coming across a giant horde of Pikachu. Pikachu ends up gets rejected, but then ends up saving one of the Pikachu there. Ends up getting welcomed into the group, and then like ends up bonding with him really closely. Ash is considering if he should like let him go and live among his own kind, because he was just doing that all the fucking time with this all the fucking time during that region during Kanto. Like he did that with his Butterfree. He ended up doing that with his Primate, the one he had like for 4 episodes. And it was just like, oh hey, let's go in and just do that here with his Pikachu too. I was like, guys, stop.
Do they just do this episode for every season?
No.
Because I swear I remember this exact same episode in Sun and Moon where the Pokemon mother comes out and she's like, "Here are my children," and like Ash just has like his Pikachu hang out with all the Pikachu. She also shows up in the battle royale, and I'm like, "Oh, it's the Pokemon mom. I mean, the Pikachu mom." What a fun one-off episode.
So they don't do that too often, but they do it more often than they should. Because like Ash didn't do the releasing thing after this. Didn't do the consistent releasing thing for a while until Orange Islands with. Oh wait, no. First he did it. He did it again at the end of the region with his Pidgeotto, and did it again with his Pidgeotto. And then after Orange Islands, he did it again with his fucking Lapras. He didn't do it for a while, and then Kalos, he was like, "Nope, I gotta keep letting go my good Pokemon every single time." Hey Gudra, I know you're a really good Pokemon on my team, but you need to go ahead. But this forest needs you, so I'm gonna let you go. Hey Greninja, I know we have like this whole battle bond thing that's like super broken, and people would want to try studying us for years on end, and you're like easily one of my strongest Pokemon. But I need to go ahead and let you go so you can defend the Zygarde. Bye.
Yeah, I wasn't even like in the Pokemon circle there, but I remember hearing people talk about that. I remember people not being happy about it.
As they should know, because that was bullshit. Like I'm not gonna lie, I do like his journeys team to a certain extent. Like he absolutely, like Ash definitely need to have a Dragonite. I love the fact they gave him a Dragonite. I like he definitely needed to have Lucario at some point. And I kind of like the idea of him getting a Gengar, but that Journeys team should have been all the Pokemon that he has caught up to this point. Not just not just getting 5 new Pokemon and just training them up to somehow be the best team he's ever had. That should have been his. He should have had a Lucario, 1 new Pokemon from Gen 8, and then the rest should have been his 3 of his major players from his past teams, not 6 new Pokemon. That was ridiculous. But that's a whole other conversation. Anyway, back on point. Again, they end up bonding. Team Rocket ends up attacking. This is the first time they even meet Team Rocket.
Yeah, unless you go in with the idea that this is like canon to the anime. I don't know.
It's not
They're gonna
canon.
say it. Yeah, they
It's
say
not canon.
somewhere like near this they flip flop.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Yeah, no, like Team Rocket's here. They're doing Team Rocket things
Mm-hmm.
as they do, and they yeah.
Then they end up bonding. Then they end up coming back together, showing that they are the true Nakama. And Pikachu will choose Ash over just some random horde of Pikachu, and day saved. But yeah, this is pretty much beat for beat everything that happened in the show. This is where I'm like I said, you start seeing them pressure them more into just like being on brand. But I'm like, I kind of like the fact when they were trying to be more and more of their own thing instead of just trying to just like kind of be a different stylized from the anime. But uh, it is what it is.
Also, there's like a big Pikachu in that chapter, which is
Mm-hmm.
pretty fun because it's like, did they accidentally? Well, I don't know if accidentally is a word, but like, did they predict Alpha Pokemon? What? It's like, whoa, it's just a big Pikachu, which is pretty neat.
Oh yeah, totally. Then they do the same thing with the Bulbasaur that he catches off screen, where it's like, do I want to evolve or do I not want to evolve? Go through the whole ceremony.
I know we're not talking about this, but this was a neat chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just about like the Bulbasaur or whatever, like what like going on about like this old Venusaur that went through this battle, and this tree here, this is what came from the Venusaur, and they go on this little journey, and it's cute,
Yeah.
cute little
Also,
chapter.
oh, also, I do like the fact that the rationale of the reason why the kids aren't in this story is because like they're all doing like part-time jobs to get some more money because they can't because like traveling's expensive.
Yeah.
Ooh. Anything else about this one? Because I don't really have much to say about this one in particular.
No, it's just a cute little chapter.
Yeah. Chapter 10. Oh god, this one.
This one was crazy.
Oh yeah, I forgot Professor Oak showed up in this one too. Where they have a
Yeah,
whole huh?
yeah, he just shows up out of nowhere, like, oh right, yeah, you exist. Are you a boy or a girl?
To be fair, he doesn't say that outside. He doesn't say that outside of the games.
You should though. It's his most iconic quote.
True.
Are you a boy? But yeah, no, this was wild. It's just like got this conspiracy nut that's like the aliens, the Pokemon, they're from space. And you got like Oak like trying to back and forth with him, and then you got like this girl like like just in the middle of it all, and just like what, like okay, I know who was saying that it kind of becomes more on brand, but like I think that this might be one of the few like chapters post like volume 1 that start to feel a bit more like a little bit out there.
Yes.
This is a fun little chapter.
Oh yes, this is also kind of still based on like one of the episodes from Gen 1, but no, this is still trying to be its own thing. Like I don't think the girl was like as involved, but yeah, no, it was like there was a little girl was involved in the anime equivalent of this episode, but yeah, we ended up getting something like this for her too. It was great. I really do like how how this chapter was going out, where it's like this whole conspiracy theory about like not conspiracy theory, but basically like all these Clefairies are just like trying to go around collect all these different Pokemon and stuff is great. Not to mention they could ask to beat up Jesse and get in a fight with Jesse and James.
Yeah, that yeah, again, like this is probably like one of the few last things that feel like one like a chapter that could have came from like volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
We got Jigglypuff for the win.
Yeah. And Ash gets to pretend like he's cool for a second. But yeah, no, this is also a little bit of fun. But I do agree, this is like another little reminder about everything else here. But you can definitely kind of tell like Ono isn't like as invested in keeping Misty and Brock involved in everything, because like they pretty much disappear in this chapter after this.
Yeah, which again comes back to what I was saying earlier. It's a shame because I think there's a bit of like Ash, Misty, and Brock usually have like some of the best like chemistry out of Pokemon. Like from what I have seen in bits and pieces, anyway.
No, it's true. It's true. I'll just go and confirm that for you right now. It's true.
Yeah, because I don't have a lot of experience with anime outside of Sun and Moon, but it kind of feels like
Okay,
they have
so
like
as someone who has seen everything from the first episode of the anime till the end of Battle Frontier, so Gen 1 through Gen 3, and has seen enough of Gen 4, Gen 5, Gen 6, and of Sun and Moon, as well as a little bit of enough of Journeys to have a good idea. Ash, Misty, and Brock, of all the traveling teams in the series so up to that point, Ash, Misty, and Brock had the best chemistry. May was fine, but she didn't really have that much of a camaraderie back and forth with Brock. And outside of her tsundere moments with Ash, she was fine, but she was okay, but she was not a Misty. She was a little more active with her own motivations, but wasn't as consistently funny or as fun in comparison to working out the other three. Dawn was a bit more of a clone of Ash, even to the point of hitting some of the same beats he was going through as a trainer, to the point of even having like a trading away a Pokemon and still having some regret about that. Having a Pokemon that didn't want to be in his Pokeball and still trying to adjust with that. Having a Pokemon that evolves but ends up becoming more and more disobedient of her and trying to figure out a way to earn respect. All that fun shit. But outside of having I do think she had better moments for showing her growth as a coordinator. She was just not as fun. She was definitely not as fun when it came to just bouncing off the other three.
Yeah, which leads me to say this because I think it's probably just since it's now. I'm gonna probably see more of this later. Is I think they really get kind of wasted in this manga, Misty and Brock.
Oh, they do.
Because like Misty, I'm just like flat out like if she's not being there for like being sexualized like in some male gazy ass way, it's that she's just straight up like being used for usually some like romantic bullshit, which is just like a shame because when she's not when she's not just there for like, oh, she likes younger men, or whoa, is she into Ash? I don't know. Like when she's not being used for that, it's like it's pretty fun. And then you got Brock, who's absent for like 90% of the manga, and when he is there, he's got like a little bit of like a bro dynamic with Ash, which is cute and fun and barely shown outside of like the one chapter we saw it in earlier. And it's just a shame because when they're together, they have a fun little trio dynamic. And well, they're like barely together, and when they are together, they just kind of get wasted a bit.
Yeah.
Which bums me out because they're a fun trio.
Yeah, no, this does kind of make me think this does kind of make me wish that like Ono got a little bit more room to make more chapters, because as you can tell, we're about to hit the Pokemon League. We're about to hit the Pokemon League, and we're like what 10 chapters into this point. 10 chapters into this point, so I'm like, it would have been kind of cool if we got to see like him get double length and got a little bit more breathing room to like have some fun with the trio in like different scenarios.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah.
Okay, but any other thoughts about this chapter in particular?
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah.
it's just to reiterate, like it really does feel like one of the last chapters that feel just as crazy as what it kind of started off as with the fourth chapter.
Yeah. Okay, chapter.
Oh yeah, chapter 11.
Then chapter 11. This is where we end up establishing Ash has now gotten all 8 of his badges.
That was fast.
Yeah.
Like we were just speed running through this.
Like I don't think we didn't even focus on him doing a gym battle through all of Volume 2, and then boom, he has all 8 of his badges now. It's like, all right. Now I will say this: I actually do like some of the redesigns they gave for them, as these badges. What?
I'm just thinking about like so I don't care about these badges. But then you've
Let
got
me.
like the
I value this.
no, I'm not being mean. It just shows how much of a veteran you are, because like you see these and you're like, yo, look at the intricate design, and I'm like, all right, yeah, though.
Well, I'm not saying okay. I'm not saying like they're like the most complex designs to ever fucking exist. I'm valuing some of the changes that they end up making to them.
Yeah, like you show me these, and I'm like, all right, yeah, the badges they have design. So what's that? The water badge, cascade badge, and then the others. What were those? I don't know.
Actually, I think it is called the water badge. I know you're joking, but I'm pretty sure it is called the water badge. But the point being, the main one I was really just going to talk about is like the rainbow badge, because like the rainbow badge is kind of like just a flower with like 8 different colors around the petals. But here's like an actual proper spectrum. I'm like, I would have loved to have seen this like in color, because I think that could have been really cool. I think this is supposed to be the thunder badge. I'm not entirely sure why. And I bring this up now in particular because now with kind of with Gen 8, but especially with Gen 9, they don't give a shit about the badge design anymore. Like just humor me on this for a quick second. We'll get back to it.
Do you just stop designing them?
Sort of. One sec. Now, I'm not saying like these things are like the most complex things to ever fucking exist. They're not. But I've always liked like them trying to put in some amount of effort when it comes to how the badges are supposed to look. Going from stuff like this, getting a bit of giving something of an idea about like what the type's supposed to be. I also think the Gen 3 badges are probably one of the better looking ones out of all of them. We end up getting like the Gen 4 badges where you can even polish them in game. But now we end up getting to Gen 9, where it's just a circle with the type logo on it. I'm like, really, guys, really? Like hell, even Gen 6 tried putting at least a little bit of effort when it came to how they're supposed to look. So just yeah, I did see that. And for those of you guys who might be wondering, yes, I did see that video made by Noxted is like, and he's right. Like, what are we doing with this? But anyway, back on point. So this is also
Yeah, when I just want to say this right now, when I got to this chapter, I'm like, did I miss something? Because like, first of all, I see like his friends leave, and I'm like, okay, is this a dream? This is like a nightmare. He's gonna be like, oh no, my friends have left me, and then he wakes up at the end, and he's like, oh right, no, everything's back to normal. I haven't got the badges yet. But like, you see like all these villains in like the ocean, and I'm like, okay, what in the Neon Genesis Evangelion is this? Like,
okay, I'm gonna go with the assumption that this is where that tentacle and tentacle episode happened, but they just weren't there for it.
oh right, yeah, the numbers.
You can say it, the 9/11 of Pokemon.
Can't say that.
That'll be fine. But the funny part is, even in the funny part is the anime technically did have their own 9/11 episode, and it was so bad and it was so poorly timed they had to remove it before it even aired in Japan. Because when they were going to do that episode, it was supposed to be like a giant earthquake happening under Castilia City, and that was supposed to air right after the earthquakes in 2011 happened in Japan. And it was just like shit. So they had to take out the air, speed through several episodes, and just rewrite the entire series around it.
God damn.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I do get what you were talking about here, because it was just like we're just writing them out, and it's even weirder when they literally show up in the very next chapter. So it's like, do we need to really write them out for this? And I'm not gonna say this wasn't a fun chapter. It was, but I'm like, I don't think we really needed this, because I know.
Yeah. Like I liked the side character that's about to appear in like a few panels from now, but like all yeah, he just meets May. I'm sorry, Sabrina. I'm sorry, that other girl. Another version of the mangaka's type, and
But now she's
they
blind.
interact a bit, and they get into some hijinks with Team Rocket, and
Mhm.
we got like this funny side character. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
But like besides that dude, like this chapter was just like, what is going on? How did we get here? It's not, I don't know. I didn't. I think because of like the aspects of it, like the fact that we have time skipped a lot,
Hmm.
and the fact that Misty and Brock have gone now, combined with all of these just strange elements, it really just feel like can you blame me for wondering, is this just a weird like dream episode?
Yes, no, I do not blame you. I do not blame you for that at all.
And then like when the chapter ended, I'm like, oh wait, no, this is real. Oh no. I got really bummed out because I'm like, oh yeah, they're just kind of fast forwarding now. Oh. Yeah, and it's like you said, it would have been nice if the mangaka got more time, even if there are some strange elements with this manga. Like when he cooks in the right way, he does some cool stuff.
Yeah, and to be fair, I still think this chapter is fun. It's just more. I don't think for especially where how much they try to make the Pokemon League important, as well as the fact we end up separating the separating the trio again, just to bring them back together. I feel like this should have been a chapter to really establish that how much Ash does need to train, or make it a training episode, literally make it like an episode focusing on him, what he needs to do to become a great trainer, instead of just let's do the gloom episode from the anime, which one of the reasons why the episode is so notorious from the anime is because of Brock, especially Brock and Misty, and how Ash probably lets off one of his best roasts in the entire anime in that one episode alone.
It could have been more interesting if it's like we said before, like Misty and Brock like barely even show up like throughout the manga.
Mhm,
And like when they do show up, they leave, and then they barely like show up again with like few exceptions.
mhm.
I think it could have been at least a little bit more rectified in this chapter. If I don't know, like it would have softened the blow if they actually capitalized on the fact that they left. Like if let's say hypothetically, like Misty and Brock actually had some degree of importance throughout the last volume or so,
Mhm.
and like this chapter exists to kind of like explore Ash's like loneliness, like, oh gee, I really found some friends and now it's just me and my Pikachu, and I'm like, I already miss those guys, but it doesn't matter because yeah, his friends are in his heart. He's got Pikachu by his side. He's like, you know what, it'll be okay. I'll get through this and I'll meet them again soon and it'll be okay. Like, I don't know, just like use the moment to get something out of it.
Mhm.
I don't feel like, yeah, it just felt strange.
Yeah.
Very strange.
But yeah, then they end up, but yeah, so then we end up skipping over to them. Ash getting to the Pokemon League, doing a little speed blitz through his like first round, winning with the Kingler. I do now one thing I do like in this series that they do end up showing like at Brock and Misty actually participate here. They're not just here to be spectators for Ash. But I also do find it funny that they had both lost their first round.
It just feels weird that they split them up. Just
Yeah,
make them lose.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then we end up getting introduced to Richie a little early, which I do like. Where even though it's technically in story, still meant to be one or two episodes before Ash battles him, I think in universe how the story has progressed, it's a better introduction for him here than in contrast with the anime. Because here, this is meant to be after round one, versus in the anime where he's basically introduced right before they were supposed to battle. So I think this does a good job here, putting into helping to establish him as a rival for Ash, especially as like he's someone similar with another Pikachu with a similar team and similar team makeup in particular, who also won. I think this is the character you were talking about using nicknames.
Yeah, this was the guy.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, this we end up getting setting up everything with Charizard, especially since like we haven't been doing much to establish what Ash's team has been throughout this entire been going back and forth on what Ash's team has been throughout the entire region, throughout his entire manga series. Um then we end up showing his battle with Jeanette and how he almost gets his ass handed to him by a fucking Bellsprout.
It's okay though, because he turned things around.
Yeah, by having a Muck just smother it.
W.
Yes. And possibly kill it. And then Gary gets his ass. Oh yeah, Gary went up against Richie.
Yeah, this caught me off guard. I don't know if this is like anime accurate, but like, yeah, I was like, wait, he's not gonna battle Gary?
Nope. No, this is actually better than what it was in the anime, because in the anime, Gary lost round 3, not round 4. Secondly, he didn't lose to Richie. He didn't lose to Richie. He lost to like a completely different trainer that we never see again.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Which I think this is a better utilization of Richie in particular, because now this is establishing. Because like Ash is like, we never really got a chance to properly establish how good of a trainer Gary was, but we always knew Ash wanted to go up against him. It's like, yeah, I'm better than you. So now seeing this kid that Ash has been paralleling himself with, but also getting intimidated by at the same time, it's like, oh, am I gonna be able to beat him? Being able to beat the rival he's always kind of to a certain extent thought was better than him, or at least wanted to prove himself to. I honestly think that's a better way to does a better job of setting up the rivalry between the two. Anything else about this chapter?
No, not really. But it kind of got me thinking, like how absent Gary has been throughout like the whole.
Okay, here's the thing. You're not wrong, but this is pretty much the parallel for how he is in the anime. Like I think in the anime series, between
really?
Yeah, like between like the first episode and the Indigo League, I think he shows up like 3 times.
Well, at least in like red and green, like I'm pretty sure you battle blue like a few times, right?
Like 5 or 6.
Okay, maybe Indigo League didn't do everything better.
Nah, it didn't do it like everything better. Like I'm trying to think of how many times he showed up. Like I know
It's so weird.
Yeah,
weird,
no,
right?
I think he only shows up 3. Yeah, he shows up during the fossil. He ends up showing up during the fossil episode. He ends up showing up, I think, during the Diglett episode, which is a little bit before that. And then he ends up showing up during Cinnabar Island, and then he shows up when they're getting the Earth, when he ends up getting the Earth badge. So honestly, in respective comparison, he actually shows up more in the proportionally, he shows up more in this manga series than he does in the anime.
And yet he still feels just as unutilized.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. So, I guess a lot of the love comes from what he could be rather than what he is. Maybe.
Yeah. Oh wait. Okay. So yeah. No. Okay. We're not counting these. He doesn't do anything in these episodes. He shows up. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about Beauty and the Beach, which honestly I think it's probably best if we all forget that. So yeah.
It's that episode.
Is that episode? Dig those Diglett. Attack of the Prehistoric Pokemon. The Cinnabar. Yep. Oh yeah, I got them all right. Yay.
Yeah, you are a veteran.
God,
I'm not like
that shit.
Bro, you got them all right.
Yeah. Like I didn't remember. I didn't count Here Comes the Squirrel Squad, but I'm okay with ignoring that because he doesn't speak. He doesn't speak in that episode. He just kind of shows up. He just makes a cameo appearance. So I'm like, I'm fine with that kind of episode. But yeah, all of the times when his character actually matters, it's those episodes. But yeah, then we end up shifting off into setting up for Ash's battle with Richie, which like in the anime, Ash does end up losing, but I honestly prefer it here because in the anime it was so I don't know what the fuck they were trying to cook with that episode, but in that episode, this is the one time that that Team Rocket had to be semi-competent, and they ended up kidnapping Ash, ended up dragging him halfway across the halfway across the fucking city. He has to fight them back in order to get back to the tournament. Almost just disqualified for how late he is. But by the time he gets there, more than half his team is worn out. So all he's left to battle with, I think, was his peak was like his Squirtle and then his Pikachu. They both end up getting knocked. But they're also still too tired. So then he's forced to just use then he just ends up forcing himself to use his Charizard, which honestly, to this day, I still don't get why he had that on his team at all, because like it didn't listen to him and he already had other Pokemon in his reserve. So I don't know why he didn't swap out for it other than just we thought it'd be funny. But yeah, so then we end up shifting over to here. Then we end up shifting over to here. Where it's like, hey, you want to use our secret weapons? And it's like, all right, let's do it. So they both end up sending out their Charizards. But while Ash's Charizard isn't trained, it's kind of implied that it's actually stronger than Richie Charizard, but he can't actually control it properly. He can't control it properly, so he ends up just like going on a rampage and basically almost kills Richie Charizard in the process, even ignoring the signal Ash was using to try to make sure it stayed under his control.
And blood is shed.
Yes.
It's wild. Yeah, this was definitely like an oh shit moment.
Yeah.
Didn't have a visceral reaction like this since the Black Death, the Haunter.
You can definitely see like they are way more willing to, like, again, he's way more willing to get edgy here, which I honestly do think it was
yeah.
Good little pep talk. It's like you learn from it, you understand your mistakes, and you move forward. They end up cheering Richie through. Then Ash separates from the group again, decides to go to the Orange Islands to compete in the Orange League for reasons. Ends up beating these guys. Ends up finding a baby Lapras. Trains it up. And so, yeah, this pretty much is the exact same equivalent to the episode in the anime, but just no Misty, no Richie, no Misty, no Tracy, and Team Rocket didn't kidnap him didn't show up here. But yeah, but I thought this was a cute chapter in and of itself. But sorry, speed running through too quickly. Any other thoughts about the previous chapter?
No, I covered basically everything. The fight's cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, all right. So, and for this chapter in particular,
it's cute. Like, he catches a Lapras.
Yes.
I don't have anything to add beyond that. He's apparently stronger now because of off-screen development.
Mm-hmm.
Well, off-page development, but yeah, not really much to say.
Yeah. So I think this is a good point to just try to talk about any particular criticisms, because I do want to say more explicitly about certain criticisms. So I'm not a big fan of just blindly going, this thing needed more space, because I think a lot of times people just say that for covering up for weaknesses, thinking that it would immediately fix everything that's going wrong here. But I would explicitly say I do think that this comic did need more space, because did need like should have gotten more chapters in between stuff. Not only so we could have gotten like a better idea about how the characters can work off of each other, but really so. And I know I'd probably be forcing this a little bit more on Ono, but onto Ono, but to give him a little bit more of a chance to get comfortable with writing Ash, Misty, and Brock together instead of having them constantly split up and then come back together and then splitting up off screen. Because I'm like, I feel like he thinks he's comfortable enough to just have Ash on his own, which I think he handles Ash on his own relatively well, but it's like he clearly also is being asked or is encouraged to have Misty and Brock whenever possible. So I'm like, I'd rather him have gotten a little more comfortable just keeping them around than constantly writing them in and out over and over again. But on top of that, I do wish he had gotten another volume or two in particular, so he could do some proper character work, do a little bit more to show like the adventure and seeing how Ash gets his team, gets his Pokemon, as well as like how Misty and Brock end up developing as well, instead of only using, like you said, mainly using Misty for sexual purposes and Brock, which I'm gonna be blunt. I think he writes them way better than the anime does, but getting a better chance to see how Brock works as a good mentor and big brother for Ash here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, I think that's just kind of my only real major criticism of the story so far. Is just like I'm not against fan service, but I'm like I don't think it really should have been here with a 12-year-old kid. But besides just I
In
wish
a in a in a in a manga for a child audience.
yeah.
It's like what the fuck were they doing?
I don't know. And then on top of that, dealing with Brock, and just getting a little bit more chance to do character work. But those are pretty much my main criticisms so far. You?
Yeah, no, that's like most of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, this chapter was just pretty cute. Next up, finally, the final volume, Surfs Up Pikachu. Got a beanie because it's the 90s. This is also meant to be a bit of a condensed episode for what happens in the anime, where Ash and Co come across an island with a bunch of with a bunch of pomelo, and Snorlax is going around trying to eat all of them, and it's like, okay, what can we do to try to stop it? But the Snorlax is just so fucking powerful, it just blows through every last fucking thing that they try to do to stop it. But unlike the anime, this series is way more insane, and they have a lot more fun just like seeing what they could do to try to stop the thing, even to the point of like Snorlax almost eating Ash, or what's her name?
Yeah, they full
Palmella.
out. They fully pull out some kind of contraption just to stop it.
Yes, and it doesn't work because he could just like jump off the fucking island.
Maybe he's a legendary.
Maybe it just devours an entire fucking island. Try hypnotizing it. They try giving it a back rub to massage it.
And then the best Pokemon comes in to save the day.
Oh, Jigglypuff.
Jigglypuff.
Yes. Then they sing it to
MVP.
Yes. Then Ash catches it. Which I'm kind of glad they brought this up. Is like that's a surprising responsibility. After all, Snorlax can eat over 800 pounds a day, food a day. You must have a lot of spare cash on. He's like, oh no. And then he's like, okay, where can I go to ditch this thing? Because unlike in the anime, he cannot. Unlike the anime, he doesn't have some rich professor he can just drop this thing off to, so he can feed it out of whatever money stocks he has.
Well, yeah, in the anime, doesn't like the Pokeball just magically teleport away after like capturing 6 or something?
Yes, but Ash only had 5 at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he. No, actually, I think he kept it on for the rest of the region, then dropped it off when he went to Johto.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh, but any other thoughts about this one?
Fun.
Yeah.
Like you can tell that I'm like getting less to say, and it's just because I really do feel like they lost quite a bit with like Misty and Brock being gone, and just like the all the skipping around stuff. I don't know. I started to lose a bit of investment here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that it got bad or anything. It's just that it feels like it's missing things.
Yeah, this is the problem. This is what I think people don't like about when it comes to things being episodic. It's not that having self-contained stories is a bad thing, but it's like a lot of times when shows end up being episodic, they don't care enough about making sure things keep coherent from episode to episode. And sometimes they'll just end up changing things between. It's like, wait, where the fuck did this come from? Like, for example, where the fuck did Misty come from?
She's just here now. Teleported on the Lapras, and now she's plot relevant.
Yes,
kind of.
And now we're doing the whole bit of like this is I think the 3rd gym badge in from Orange League, but this is where one of the gym leaders is like, oh yeah, hey Misty, you're really cute and adorable. How about I marry you? And Ash and Ash basically does do the same thing in the anime where he's like, I'm battling you, but I'm not, but I'm going to pretend this is not about Misty, even though it is about Misty, because the Orange Island season was trying so hard to beat Ash and Misty shipping.
Yeah, this one reeks of like, if you like Ash and Misty, then this is the story for you.
Yes.
Even if it is afraid of just saying it.
Yes. And yeah, that's also what the anime was like at the time as well, which I was just like, okay.
I mean, like cross dresses at the end, and then.
Oh wait, no. Okay, no, I want to get to that, but it was like, yeah, no, they got the battles in. I kind of like the fact that like Executor was basically just trying to win from just being incredibly fucking creepy, which it is. And even though Bulbasaur was able to win, it was just like that was fucking terrifying and traumatic. Which, yeah. Then Squirrel ends up beating Starmie the same way he does in the anime, which good on you. And then he learns Hydro Pump and then never uses the move again. And then after the brother realizes, you know what, little sister, I realize you've been wanting a big sister for so long, and I need to make sure that you get that experience out of your life. You left me no choice. I'll be your big sister. It's like trans rights. Let's fucking go. Trans rep. Let's fucking go.
I'm sure they meant it that way.
About as much as you can in Japan, which is good for them.
Yeah. Hopefully someday they'll come far enough.
Yeah.
I'm so afraid of that country, man. Can we get more gay people in anime, please?
Dude, I'm telling. Okay, so we've had this discussion off the podcast before, where Derp is like, I want to see more gay stuff in anime, but I'm like, bro, you got to get away from the isekai. There's so much gay shit literally everywhere else.
I don't watch.
Whoa,
this is. I told you. I don't watch just isekai. This gay stuff. I can see it, but like it's always like you have to go out of your way to find it. You're not gonna watch like something mainstream and find it because they're scared of it.
Shonen. I'm not kidding. Shonen.
No, they're afraid of saying it outright.
No, they're not.
Like I'm watching Yu-Gi-Oh now, and though there is sexual chemistry between fucking the Yugi and Kaiba, it's like, bro, they ain't gonna say they gay.
Well, that's the thing. No one is ever going to say they're gay because it's Japan. They are.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point.
But that's the thing. Japan doesn't even do that with their straight couples 90% of the time. So it's like if you want to see anything closer to being gay rap, which is like two guys or two girls so close that they might as well. The closer you're going to get is like especially with it, and this is just a Japan thing, not a homophobic thing. Is when they're just like so fucking close, like they might as well just be calling themselves gay.
Yeah, but that's not satisfying. That's just like, oh well, I'll ship them. Like maybe that's good enough for you, but I like that confirmation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't give that confirmation. We should. My thing is just more like I just kind of accepted that Japan does not want to have any. Like, it is very rare for them to have characters ever get into romantic pairings, and that's even with straight shit. So I'm just like, I just take what I can get.
That is true.
That is true. So that's why I'm just like, if you look at Shonen and especially Tokusatsu, like Derp here has been watching Kamen Rider Gaim. I know you've been seeing it there.
Yeah.
And I know it's like one of the biggest ones. So I'm like, yes, it is there. You just got. I do agree with you. We do need to have some stuff that's more explicit, but it's like it is there. It is there. You just gotta look for it more. You just gotta look at different.
Gotta go out of your way to then.
No, you don't have to go out of your way.
Unless you want it implied but not confirmed. Which is good enough for Lavi, I guess. Anyway, yeah. Pokemon. Look, it's Team Rocket. Everyone loves Team Rocket. They're the best. Yeah. But they're actually not that annoying in this chapter because they're just there to support Ash.
Yeah.
After after eating his wallet.
Yes.
Like, all right, you know what? I don't care about Team Rocket, but I'll tolerate them this once.
Yeah. So he ends up letting them stay in his house, in his room, while he ends up going out trying to figure out what he's going to do tomorrow for his gym battle. Then he finally puts some proper clothes on and decides to go out and battle this guy. Gets ready to go. Um, don't look bad. Don't look bad. Ashy boo. They get a chance to battle outright. Have some fun. Have some fun. But this is just, from what I remember, is pretty much how the first one goes. However, uh, Ditto's a weakness to against shots. Just sure. But yeah, no, I do like how they end up starting this one out. But yeah, no, like I don't think there's really much here to talk
Is it not weak to electric type? Are you
about.
saying?
Normal type.
Yeah. See, I'm not a Pokemon nerd, so I just be like, yeah, no, electric hurts things.
I mean, it does. It does. The only thing it does in our ground types.
uh,
I think it's an ability that prevents electric attacks working, but I don't remember.
I'm like, did Arceus tell you like what moves are effective?
Yep.
Yeah, if that wasn't there, I would probably just not fucking win half of my panels.
Oh, you would have had fun in gens 1 through 5. They did not show that. You had to remember all that shit.
Yeah, see, I'd just be like, yo, Charmander, use Ember. Wait, it's ineffective? Shit. Squirtle, use water gun, or whatever water equivalent I could grab.
It's water gun.
So, if fire don't work, then water must be this.
Well, it depends on what Pokemon you're going up against. Like, for
Like, I don't
example,
know what the Pokemon is. If it's grass, I'm like, okay, well, it's probably fire. But like in most cases, I just be like, use tackle. Please do damage.
I mean, it just wouldn't do as much damage depending on the type. Like, for example, if you did that
I'm
to a
not a
shield.
nerd. I don't look
Yeah,
at the
you
wiki
are.
and be
Don't act
like,
like you're not. Don't act like you're not.
I like people be like, yo, you gotta look at the wiki and be like, here's all the move set, and you should evolve your Pokemon to like do this and get this move. And I'm like, I like the way this Pokemon looks, so I will have that Pokemon on my team, and they will just use that move. It's like, bro, you're at a type disadvantage. I'm like, well, it does this move, and yeah, that's been working out so far.
Here's the type chart.
See that? I'm looking at that right now, and I'm like, that's a lot of squares.
Like, for
Like, see,
example,
you look at this, and this is like 2 plus 2. I look at this, and this is like, yeah, solve the pie or whatever, and I'm like, oh, dude, this what the fuck?
Charmander, fire type. So you can't, if it's against a fire water type, it's half. It only does half damage. But if you do it against a grass type, it's double damage. Ooh.
So I'm not cut out for this. See, I am glad I have never played a mainline game. Well, I know we've talked about Arceus, whatever, but like I have not. Yeah, if I got to those leagues, man, I would probably be retrying a lot. Cause ain't no way.
You sell yourself short. I think you could have handled it.
Yeah, if I over leveled them like I usually do.
Okay, chapter 18. So this is pretty much verbatim for what ends up happening in the anime as well. So um
Is that supposed to be Lance?
no, this is Drake.
Oh.
Um Probably based off of Lance to a certain extent, but he's meant to be his own. He's meant to be his own character, who's like, I'm the leader of the Orange Islands. Like the Orange Islands are like non-canon to the games.
Oh.
Huh?
Yeah, I heard about the Orange Islands. I didn't know they were like an anime thing.
Yeah, they're anime only exclusive. They were like, okay, guys, we need a little bit more time before we end up doing the Johto anime. So let's do the Orange Islands and then come back when we want to do Johto. So Ash has got like a whole year dedicated to a summer vacation where they're just where he gets like he with Misty and Tracy end up going around the entire Orange Islands, mainly to try to pick up this GS ball to bring him back to Professor Oak, but also go around and take down a couple of gym leaders and then come and take out Lance. So Ash get his first unofficial championship. So yeah, Ash ends up getting a chance to use his Charizard, who apparently he got to train and make more effective off screen. End up beating it off screen. They got to battle. Charizard lost. Then he ends up sending in Then he ends up sending in Pikachu. Pikachu ends up being able to land on Dragonite's head, electrocutes it because that apparently works, and then Pikachu wins. They say now
Yo,
he's a champion.
he got the first ever win. It didn't happen in Journey, whatever. That he got it here.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh wait. Actually, hold up.
This is his first. Well, I mean, I know it's not canon to the anime.
No, it is canon to the anime. The Orange Islands isn't canon to the games.
Oh, I was just saying, like, yeah, is this like, does this happen in the anime? Like, does that
Yeah,
Ash like win in
yeah,
the? Yeah,
yeah.
so this
Like
is
I said, this battle is pretty much beat for beat what ends up happening in the anime.
okay. So yeah, like this is his first W, and then he loses every other game until Sun and Moon, but it's not actually doesn't count because it's not a real battle.
Okay, to give a little bit of context here, Durban and I have talked about how in Sun and Moon, even though that is Ash's like first proper championship win for leagues that are supposed to be in the games, it really doesn't count when like so many of the competitors there are his other schoolmates who barely have a Pokemon to their name and never been shown to be like
It's
great
so
battlers.
funny. It's so funny when they have like two Pokemon. It's like Lana, I like you for like the two episodes of like memorability you have, but like yeah, you ain't winning.
Like I
It's
don't
like
even like
whoa.
what was she going to do if she got to the final round? Like it's like a full 6-on-6. What are you gonna do? Like even if you brought
I
in your Lapras, like you're still 3 short, girl.
I will never not forget that amazing scene where Lana's whatever it's called, mermaid Pokemon gets
Primarina.
absolutely tortured by stupid names insect bug.
Uh
That that was crazy.
Guzma's what
It gets like absolutely choked out, and I'm like, what is going on? This is like dark, and I'm loving it.
Galissapod, yeah.
Like this is like brutality, and like Lana's just like a schoolgirl. She's just stood there like, stop it. So what were they cooking? I mean, it was good, but like, holy shit, that came out of nowhere.
Because that's one of the things I do think helps to make this a good league for one of the things that does help this league be good for Ash is that all of Ash's battles were against serious people. So like Ash got to go up against the punchable dude from
Aether Foundation.
Aether Foundation. Then he ends up going up against Hal. Then he ends up going up against Guzma. Then he ends up going up against Gladiana. I'm like, those are actual serious ones. My problem is like Lana and Lana, Lily,
Mallow.
Mallow.
You talking about the purple head girl?
Well, she's
Acerola.
supposed to be. She's weird. Technically, she's actually like an Elite Four in the game, but I don't think in the anime they really established her as being like an actual serious battling threat.
No,
No,
I think they just straight up changed some of the characters in this. Isn't Lana supposed to be like a chieftain?
all of them are supposed to be like major. All of them are supposed to be trial captains.
Yeah, because in the anime they're all just school kids.
Yeah. And all of them have like one or two Pokemon, never really shown to be like serious battlers in their own right. And it's just like,
Except the boys, really.
yeah. And you say boys has to be in quotations because I know they didn't do that well with Sophocles.
Oh yeah, no, this oh I don't like him.
Yeah.
Most annoying character.
And it's like, again, what the fuck were you guys gonna do when you got to the second round? Like, and that's kind of the problem. Like, I respect that this is supposed to be like the first league, but I'm like, in contrast with stuff like Kalos, where like
I think I think a lot of people just straight up didn't count it anyway, just because it's not a video game league or something like that. It
no,
was an
it is a
anime.
video game league. Like you do like a okay, so in the games, in all the games you end up playing through. You end up playing through like usually getting all the badges. Except for Sun and Moon, all of them you end up going through getting all the badges. Then you end up getting to the Elite Four. Then you get to the league where you battle the Elite Four, and then the championship. However, in the anime, that's never been how it works. Yes, you do end up getting all the badges, but then afterwards you end up going to the league. You end up going to the league, which is meant to be a which is then meant to be a tournament where you end up getting the championship title. They never were clear about how the Elite Four was supposed to work in the anime until like I don't think they ever really clarified it, but that was how it was supposed to work. Is that you end up getting into the league, which is meant to be a tournament, which is how it works in the anime. The reason why which is why I have a hard time counting the Sun and Moon one, is not that Ash doesn't get any proper wins. It's just I can only take it so seriously when outside of Ash's rivals, outside of Ash's direct battle, outside of the direct people Ash battles, and I can't remember his name, but him, none of these fuckers I can take seriously as battlers. So it comes off more like a baby league than anything else. Like I'm glad in contrast with like the other leagues where it's like the only one that really mattered. Like there are very few trainers that are involved in the league that you actually give a shit about. Where they're in contrast with this one, was like you pretty much know every face. The problem is none of the faces here have been constantly established to be good battlers. So that's where I think it does kind of hurt itself a little bit. But it does still count. It's just it should have hit a lot hard. They should have had a lot more. They should have done a better job establishing that these guys are actually like serious trainers with a proper filled team. But that's in the past now. We're about to hit Gen 10.
So Ash got 2.5 tournament wins.
Wait, 0.5? Oh yeah,
this is 0.5.
Well, no. I think he's got other tournament wins as well. These are just like the proper league ones.
Okay.
Where is that list?
I don't know my Pokemon anime lore, guys. I only watched the baby season. I liked the episode where Litton's dad died. Also, the one where Mallow met her ghost mom. That was cool. Trying to think of other memorable episodes. There's a lot of episodes, but a lot of them aren't memorable. They went golfing. That was boring.
Yes. But yeah, as you can see here, he ends up winning like a bug catching contest, sumo conference prize, several racing competitions. I swear he ends up winning some battle stuff too. He does end up winning battle stuff too. Conquered the battle frontier.
There's a wiki of just all of Ash's accomplishments.
Yep. So yeah,
you got
all his badges.
Yeah, people are dedicated, man.
Yes. Oh yeah, no, the Bulbapedia is easily one of the best fandom sites of all of them. Like they have pages for every fucking thing, and I love it.
Yeah, this is impressive.
Yes.
I mean, I know I've used it before just to look at like the different characters from each game, but wow, this is like wild.
Mm-hmm.
They probably got a page on like every instance of jelly donut appearances.
Oh, they do.
It's like, do you want? Yeah, no, it wouldn't shock that. Yeah, the One Piece fandom page needs like a page dedicated to how many times Senji has lit a cigarette. I think we need that. And like how many seconds it's been like what's the average time he's seen with a cigarette and when he's without one. I mean we need that.
Oh, here we go. Brock.
Oh my god.
Emphasizing that the rice balls are in fact donuts.
Nothing like a jelly filled donut.
Yes.
Oh. I use my trusty frying pan as a drying pan. Anyway, Pokemon manga. Let's get back to it.
Yeah, let's get back to that. Honestly, we are starting to come to the end. So Ash ends up winning, got his team.
Whoa.
He ends up resting for a little bit.
Misty Ash shipping moment.
Yes. And then one more chapter with Ash and
See, I thought they were gonna fight in this, but they
yeah,
didn't.
same.
Spoilers. It's
But
just
they didn't. It's just about them trying to compete about who can get the giant slow poke back from Team Rocket first. Also, we have to do a weird fake out with Professor Oak and Bill being knocked out for some
It's
reason.
like you thought they would have blood. No, that's tomato juice. We after Charizard had blood, Nintendo said like no more blood. You gotta you gotta make it tomato juice. Maybe it's okay that the Charizard bleeds, but humans can't bleed. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's too graphic. Also, Mecha. This was awesome. Actually, I
Yes.
actually dug this a lot.
Okay. To be fair, they do crazy shit like this in the anime, but no, this one looks so
But
fucking.
this looks cool in the
Yes, it
anime.
does.
It's like, look at the goofy Saturday morning baby Hamtaro fucking shitty design we made up in 2 seconds. This is like some actual Gundam mecha, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. It's like when he cooks, like the manga guys, like he came up with some cool stuff. But like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Also, Giovanni's here. This is Giovanni, right?
Yes, this is Giovanni.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just making sure. Yeah, he just shows up and he's like, "My master plan to make the Pokemon that makes people all woozy, but it backfired. Oh no, the irony. We have to kill it or something." And it just makes everyone feel all calm and
Relax. It's like
comfortable.
I don't have any ambition to do anything. It's like I have to focus. So they end up going through trying to capture the damn thing. End up trying to compete with each other in order to get it. Ends up eating the Pokeball that they were trying to do to catch it.
Yeah, this. Yeah, it feels weird. Like I did kind of want them to at least have a battle, just to make it feel like, all right, well, at least their rivalry. The fought. And that went somewhere. But this, I don't dislike this. It's cute.
No.
Like that's all I can say. It's like it's cute. I enjoyed it. Just feels weird though. Like we don't see them battle once.
Yeah. Yeah, we should have gotten like one proper battle with them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were still like, no, we got to save them battling for like the anime. So it's like we just had to do this instead. So it's like,
Did they have a battle in the anime?
yep, whole two-parter.
When was that?
Gen 2 at the end of the Johto League. What's up? What?
Took them long enough.
Yeah. So yeah, they didn't battle till Volume 5.
I'm glad I didn't grow up on Pokemon, because if I had to wait that long just to see that, I don't know.
No, I don't even blame you. No, that did take way too fucking long. When did they finish?
Wild.
Taiwan on? No. Here we go. Yeah, the ties that bind. So yeah, they end up fighting here. Then can't beat the heat. Yeah, so they had a whole two-part of them battling with each other. And it came down to what every Gen 1 battle should come down to. A battle between Charizard versus Blastoise.
Did the Blastoise win?
What do you think?
I'm just saying, did the Blastoise win?
No, the Blastoise did not win.
Boo! See that they didn't cook hard enough. Should have been like, my Charizard lights more bright than any water can push it out. My fires burn through your water, whatever. I don't know.
No, that is what happened though.
What?
Yeah, that's what happened. Charizard basically just like not only burns the entire area around Blastoise to like limit its movement, but then they end up basically just like setting the Blastoise on fire, and Ash wins.
But you just said Blastoise loses, eh?
Oh wait, no, sorry. Charizard wins. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, no. Charizard wins. Because
Never,
that's
never.
because this is meant to be Ash's win against his long lost rival, and a
Okay, well,
long rival.
okay, well, forget about what I said because you worded that weird.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. But yeah, no, Charizard wins.
Yay!
Wait, there's only oh wait, no, that's a year in between. My bad. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. And then going back to the manga again, we then end up getting
Epilogue.
epilogue, where first off, yeah, married and pregnant. Did not think that's how it would go, but it did. And then James ends up dropping this letter off to Ash's mom, and it's for her and May. Decided to go on a journey with Misty, Brock, and Gary and Richie all together. Richie ends up crushing with somebody. I don't know who this is. I think this is supposed to be Lieutenant Surge.
Think so.
Yeah.
Get a weird panel here.
Had to get horny one last time.
Well, I'm gonna be off the manga, so I might as well get one more out.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, dude.
Got to meet Lugia.
Wow, it's the Pokemon with hands for wings.
Yes. And then it ends. Please come home once in a while. I miss you. And then chapter's over.
Nice ending.
Yeah.
Probably like the closest thing Pokemon fans had until, like last year or so.
Yeah.
It was all over the news. Ash won, finally.
Yep.
He got a real win.
No, first he ended up trending when he won the league in Alola. Then he ended up trending again when he ended up finally becoming the world champion and winning in Journeys. And then I think he trended one more time when he ended up getting retired.
The oldest 12-year-old to ever live.
10-year-old.
10-year-old.
Which fun fact, if you do wait, hold up. Please tell me I still have this up. One sec. Did I close it?
What are we gonna name this? I feel like
we'll come up with a name in a little bit. But if you are missing Ash's voice, if you are missing Ash, I got something that could work as a good replacement. Hold that thought.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
No.
Oh. Yokai Watch?
No. One sec.
Digital Monsters? Trying to think of Bakugan?
No. Close.
What of a monster catcher related? Oh.
No, not Monster Catcher.
Yo, is that Tokusatsu?
Yes.
Oh, whoa.
Shit, of course it's gonna break right now.
No, it's probably for the best. It's probably for the best you don't full screen it or anything.
Oh, I'm not full screening this. I was just trying to play it real quick.
Yeah, you're already on like red tape. Bandai Namco would be like, nope. Yeah, you're already on thin ice just showing this. Assuming Nintendo doesn't like you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Anyway, Ash appears in this, right?
Yeah. So no, not Ash, but Rika Matsumoto, Ash's voice actress, ends up playing the robot in this for some reason. I'm like, I thought she didn't want to play. I thought they were retiring Ash, man, just because she probably just wanted to retire because, she's like mid-60s or some shit. But it's like, no, she got a job working, but no, she's back working at this for a full year. So I'm like, good on her. But yeah, no. Anyway, just want to throw that in real quickly. But yeah, no, that was the Electric Tail of Pikachu plus a bunch of random Pokemon facts. So Derp, I kind of dropped my thoughts about this entire series. I thought it was I enjoy how much it was just trying to have fun with doing a different take of the franchise in and of itself, but doing a different take on the Poke Annie story itself. But I do wish it got a little bit more room to try to do its own thing, and especially get some more chapters out so it could be paced a little bit better. And have a better flow when it comes to this event instead of being so choppy. But what do you think?
Yeah, you kind of just summed up my thoughts right there.
Yeah.
Like it it has moments, and it does have moments. I think it is a bit unfair that this manga does just get unfairly dunked on just because of the artist behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we won't name names, but like just the other day, I brought up the fact that I finished this in a group chat, and then the other guy in the room was like, "That manga." Like, yes, that manga, and I think it's a shame that it's got that reputation
Mm-hmm.
because it's really just the minority about it. Like,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of it. When it is there, it sucks. But like that is like censored pretty well in like the censored version,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like you aren't losing anything by reading like the censored version like at all. Like,
Yeah, and I'll say the uncensored version is not going to burn your eyes out. You'll be fine with that too. But
yeah,
yeah.
like it's not great, but like yeah, no, like it's not like the worst thing in the world.
Mhm.
But it's not good either. But yeah, it's a shame that it got that reputation because of the few little weird mishaps that it has. Because when it's good, it's really good. Unfortunately, I feel like like halfway through, it kind of loses some of the magic. And then once the time skip comes and it's all about like the league and stuff, I don't know. I feel like it lost a bit of that charm that the first two volumes kind of had.
Mhm.
There's a few parts after that are good, like the literally like the second to last chapter we just got to. But yeah, when I got to that point, I couldn't help but feel a little bit uh melancholic, apathetic. Apathetic,
Mhm.
I think, is the word. Just because I was yearning for more of that like fun trio dynamic that was really wasted, and I just wanted to see more of the adventures. Because when it got like out there and crazy, it was fun. Even if I didn't know that some of those chapters were based on like anime plot lines, like I thought they were fun. Nevertheless, it was an enjoyable experience as like an outsider looking in, and
Mhm.
I look forward to hopefully looking into more Pokemon stuff. Maybe, as we said before, maybe the special manga in the future.
Yeah, so we're no promises right now, but we're actually going to be considering going into the Pokemon Adventure series that is meant to be more of a direct adaptation of the video game franchise, but with their own certain flair as well. Most likely going by each individual arc, going through each individual arc and going through our own thoughts in that particular. But we'll see. We'll play that by ear and see how that goes. But hopefully, you guys did enjoy this video in particular, and we're going to enjoy this video in particular. And I hope if you guys do like this, we'll try to see if we can do those Pokemon adventure videos as well. But Derp, thank you so much for hanging out with me and talk about this video today. Talk about the
Yeah, it's
series.
been fun.
Yeah. And I do hope not only you, but everyone who's listening to this did get a little bit more knowledge about how the Pokemon franchise works. And yes, the line about what makes a legendary and mythical Pokemon is incredibly arbitrary. So but yeah, no, I do hope you got some knowledge out of that, and hope you guys enjoy that as well. Derp, where can they find you?
You can find me over at Twitter at 2Derpaduh, and you can find me on YouTube as Derpaduh. It'll probably be in the description.
All right. Oh, it will be. But yeah, no, thank you guys so much, and we will see you all next time.
See ya.
See ya.